Hi guys, welcome to Chris Cowlin's channel for this watch along of the live Europa League game between Hoffenheim and Tottenham Hotspur. I'm Barnaby Slater. Thank you so much for joining me. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, X and Twitch. Please do get involved. Please do send in any thoughts, any questions. Where are you at with Ange Postecoglou? Is he going to survive past this game and or the Leicester game? I will, of course, be going through the team lineup in a minute. And this will be the itinerary for today's Tottenham content, which will be coming to you basically all night between myself and some of the other people who are going to be hosting on Chris Cowlin's channel and Chris himself, who is at the game tonight. So keep an eye on his channel. He will be posting videos throughout the night, as well as the press conferences from after the game and everything. Please, of course, if you're not already a subscriber to Chris's channel, make sure you press that subscribe button. Smash the like button on here. The more likes we get on this watch along, the more Spurs fans will get to see it. So please do give us a like and subscribe to Chris at Chris Cowlin on YouTube. Also, you can see there in the bottom left-hand corner, my channel, youtube.com/@BarnabySlater_, where I bring you even more daily Spurs content and Premier League transfer news throughout this January. Every day I'm doing transfer videos as we reach towards the last week of the transfer window, and Tottenham, according to Fabrizio Romano, are still looking to do business, looking to bring 2 players in between now and the end of the transfer window. Whether or not Daniel Levy will release the purse strings to let that happen, though, remains to be seen. So I will be doing the watch-along. I'll do the team news in a minute, and then we'll do the watch-along live as the game gets started in about, 7 minutes' time. And then straight after the game, I will do a post-match reaction video. Then it will be the fan show where fans from around the world call in and I'll be speaking to them about the performance tonight. And then after that, at about 8:45 p.m., Craig Dearman will be hosting the Spurs Chat podcast. And he'll be joined by Melvin Zureb, Gary Waters, and Terry Kim. So make sure you stay tuned throughout the night. I'm really hoping tonight I have changed my shirt. I've gone into a different Spurs shirt, because the shirt I've been wearing for the last, I don't know, however how long, we've just been losing and losing and losing. So I'm hoping a little bit of superstition might help us change. Who knows? So here is the team for any of you that haven't seen it as yet. Brandon Austin comes back in goal because Tony Kinski obviously is not registered for the Europa League with Spurs. He can be registered for the next round, though. And of course, what Tottenham need to do is get 4 points from these next 2 games, away at Hoffenheim tonight and then at home to Elfsborg next week. 4 points will see us into that top 8 and through to the next round, the last 16 actually, and would see us missing out on a 2-legged playoff tie that, to say Tottenham do not need to get in that 2-legged playoff tie, would be the understatement of the century. So it's Brandon Austin in goal. Pedro Porro at right back, of course. He has to play every minute of every game at the moment. Radu Dragusin and Ben Davis at centre-half. And then Archie Gray moves across from centre-half to left-back. In front of them, Rodrigo Bentancur returns after his concussion protocols. That is huge for us. Please stay fit, Rodrigo. Lucas Bergvall and James Maddison make up the rest of the midfield. And then, slightly surprisingly for me, Sonny starts on the left ahead of Mikey Moore, with Richarlison playing in the 9 and Deki Kulusevski on the right. I have to say, I'll talk about this a bit more in a few minutes, but the bench is kind of laughable. We haven't been able to fully fill the bench. And the bench is as follows. 2 goalkeepers, Fraser Forster and Alfie Whiteman. Then Lancashire, Moore, Casanova, Ajayi, Olusesi and Hardy. So in terms of senior players, we're looking at Fraser Forster. In terms of players who've played any minutes for Tottenham Hotspur, we're looking at Will Lancashire and Mikey Moore. And Will Lancashire will have to come on at some point, you'd have thought, because Richarlison will not be able to play 90 minutes. And I'm sure Mikey Moore will come on at some point as well. In terms of Hoffenheim, I'm not going to pretend I don't know a lot of their players. You can see their team coming up in a carousel on the graphic there. Obviously, Kramaric is the one player who I know, having played in the Premier League before. But if you know the Hoffenheim team better, know a bit about it, get in the comments. Looks like they're going to be playing a 4-2-2-2 formation, quite well used in the German Bundesliga. But let me know in the comments your thoughts on the Tottenham team, as well as that Hoffenheim side. So talking points, obviously, Dominic Solanke, it's been revealed this week that he's done his medial cruciate ligament. I have to say, I've done that injury before myself. Now, I'm sure he's got a lot better physiotherapy options than I had, which was basically the doctor telling me that I just had to wait it out. And I was out for about 10 or 12 months where I wasn't able to do any football. But rumors are that Dominic Solanke will be back in early March, and that is a best case scenario. So that sees him out of all of the cup games at the beginning of February, and obviously all of our league games going up to March. So that is devastating. I wonder why Sonny is starting ahead of Mikey Moore tonight. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think he's just been careful with Mikey Moore because he's fresh back from his illness? Obviously, he did start the game, didn't he, at Tamworth? So he has started since. I do think it's a risk, him starting Richarlison in this game. We really need Rishi. But also I think Ange basically, he said in his press conference, he doesn't feel like he has all that many options. But he started Will Lancashire away at Galatasaray. So I think he could have started Will Lancashire. But maybe Big Ange is hoping that because Hoffenheim aren't that confident themselves, they're having a terrible season, although they did get their first win in a long time at the weekend against the bottom club in Germany, I believe. Maybe he's hoping that we can put on a performance in the first half and get a few goals ahead, and then he can bring Lancashire on for Richarlison. But based on that first half against Everton at the weekend, I wouldn't be betting on it. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't be betting on it. Austin ahead of Fraser Forster, of course, is an interesting one to talk about. Forster was injured, wasn't he? But we all thought it was an illness at first, didn't we? But clearly there's been some other injury as well. And now Austin seems to have jumped ahead of him in the pecking order. How do you feel about that? Is that the correct decision as Ange Postecoglou shakes the hand of his opposite number on the sidelines there? Bentancur back, as I said, that'll be vital. But like I said, just need him to stay fit. Archie Gray at left back because, of course, I'm sure you're all aware, but just in case you're not, Jed Spence and Sergio Reguilon not named in the Europa League squad this season, which is completely mad as far as I'm concerned. But there you go. It's come back to bite us a little bit, hasn't it? And that is why Archie Gray has had to move again for what seems like the umpteenth time this season. He's had to move to left back. I've written here a note, which injury to which player will come next? Will it be Bentancur? Will it be Kulusevski? Or will it be Porro? They're the guys, certainly Decky and Porro are the ones who are in the red zone. So they're the ones I fear. Sonny as well, I guess, has played far too many minutes. I fear for them injury-wise. Obviously, we've got to talk about the transfer window. Ali Gold asked Ange Postecoglou in his pre-match press conference, is there a chance that Tottenham won't bring anybody else in this window? And he said, yes, there is a chance of that, but they're working very hard. And like I said, Fabrizio Romano, the transfer don, really, the ITK of all ITKs, says that Tottenham are trying to get 2 players in. But as you'll see, as this window gets towards its conclusion, Manchester United swimming in the same waters, Chelsea swimming in the same waters, going for similar kind of names, similar kind of players, and they will offer more wages. And that's where Tottenham are struggling. And again, I guess not surprisingly, but definitely frustratingly, unwilling to break the habit of a lifetime and really put some money out there to persuade players and clubs or clubs to let their players come in January. And then finally, before the game starts and Spurs are out on the pitch in their all-white European kit, we need a performance from James Maddison tonight. I said during the watch-along against Everton, and I said in the post-match reaction, and I've said on my videos on my channel this week, I feel like Maddison has lost it with Ange Postecoglou. I think he's frustrated at how many times he's been substituted and how many times he's been not started games. And I thought he downed tools against Everton. So it'd be interesting tonight, seeing him starting again, whether somehow Madders can prove me wrong and show that he wants this and really try and take this game by the scruff of the neck. I really feel we need him to. We desperately need Maddison to do that today. So they're just getting ready for the game. I'll go into the comments a little bit. Randin, thanks for writing. It says, this team was very expected. Honestly, though, everyone wants to see the youngster. I believe Ange has made the right choice. Talking about Mikey Moore, I'm sure. Richarlison is looking good and Son just needs more time to get back to form. Does Sonny need more time to get back to form, or does he need more fitness and more rest? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Stuart Wheeler says, if Maddison's frustrated with being benched, he needs to play better. Simple as that. Yeah. You know, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, do we? But we definitely need Maddison to get to his top form. I tend to like it when him and Kulusevski play together and they can get that partnership back. But let's see what happens. Cantab says, no rest for poor Archie Gray. Yeah. Kulich, thanks for writing in, mate. Says, yeah, I think he's just hoping Son's quality will reappear. Plus, Moore always makes an impact when he comes on later, adding some youthful, fresh legs. Very, very good point. Very, very, very good point. Yeah, let's hope that works. Randin says, hi, Barnaby, love from Singapore. Appreciate that. Jacob Hurd says, didn't you wear that hat against Everton? I may have done, but it's the new shirt. It's the new shirt, not the hat. Anyway, Spurs are going to kick off, shooting from left to right as we look at it. If I'm on a little bit of a delay, let's see what happens. We kicked off now, so let's see what a delay is. And Tottenham go long up towards Richarlison early doors. Bergvall wins the ball back for Spurs in central midfield, and it comes across to Porro, who turns away and gives an early touch to Brandon Austin. And Ben Davis gets it out wide to Madders. Is it Madders? It's a very high camera angle. Whoever it is in midfield has just lost the ball very early. And Kramaric brings it through midfield. The clock hasn't started. I'm not quite sure why. It should start soon, hopefully. Sometimes takes 40 seconds or so for the clock to start. So let's see if that's going to happen. Oh, chance for a shot outside the box from Hoffenheim here. And it actually breaks to them, but Porro works hard to get there and plays it down the line. Yes, the clock has started. Okay, so I'm about 20 seconds behind, I'd say. So that is a bearable delay. But yes, as I was saying, it's a very high camera angle here. So quite hard for me to see exactly who the players are at all times. As Porro loses the ball down the line and then wins it back quickly. It's a bit of a scrappy start to this game. As Richarlison turns his man on central midfield, but goes down hoping for a foul, but doesn't get it. And it goes to the Hoffenheim keeper, who goes long over the top. And Kramaric is offside, but you'll see that, I would imagine, quite a lot today, which is where the back four, Spurs back four, go up to the halfway line, and Hoffenheim try and break from deep. And that will happen a lot. John Lancaster says, most important question of the day, where did you get that shirt? And Tom Bowder says, second in question, re-shirt. Yes, I'm glad you're asking me. New shirt is ace, says Mavis123. Well, I can tell you that my TikTok algorithm took me to a place. I don't think in any way that this shirt is real, but it's kind of suggested that it's very well made fake is what I'd say. And it only cost me 20 quid and I love it. So there we go. I'm hoping it brings us a bit of luck as Lucas Bergvall tries to do good stuff in midfield. And actually Madders does well there and gets out wide to Richarlison. And Archie Gray is getting outside. Oh, tries the outside of the boot cross, Maddison. It's a brilliant cross. And nearly gets to Kulusevski at the back stick. Beautiful stuff. Nearly came. The outside of the boot cross from Richarlison nearly came to Decky at the back post. Oh, chance for Spurs. And we scored. Matters. Brilliant. I was just making notes about that amazing cross from Richarlison. And I said before the game, we need something big from Maddison tonight to prove me wrong that he downed tools for Postecoglou at the weekend. And that is a huge start for Spurs. And a beautiful finish into the roof of the net from Maddison, who made a late run, a deep run, or run from deep, sorry. So the kick came from the Hoffenheim keeper and easily won by Ben Davis. And it comes to Pedro Porro, who plays a beautiful ball over the top, and they're all onside. Oh, it's a super goal. Amazing goal from Spurs. Amazing ball from Porro over the top. Matters amazing, brilliant touch. And Roof is the finish. Roof's the finish. And that's brilliant from Spurs. And some people suggesting that my shirt is a special edition, but I'm not sure, as I go back to the fact I think it's fake. But that is a brilliant start for Spurs, and that's his first goal in the Europa League, Matters. Oh, Bentancur, beautiful touch there. Comes to Porro. And Kulusevski is under a bit of pressure, needs help. Oh, and his touch is bad, but he's fouled. Clever play from Kulusevski there. That's exactly what Tottenham needed. Bit of confidence. Now, come on, let's get a second here. Please do smash that like button, guys. Let's get as many people watching this as possible. Press the like button. Make sure you subscribe to Chris's channel. Kulusevski now. It's at Chris Cowlin if you're not subscribed already. Kulusevski plays a lovely ball across to Ben Davies, who again plays it out wide left to Madders, who goes inside to Sonny. Tottenham popping it about nicely now. Madders, brilliant run from Archie Gray down the left. He's under pressure here, Archie Gray. He's got to try and win something. And he does. He wins a corner. Good stuff from Spurs and good stuff from Archie Gray. Jay Lim says, Pedro Porro is one of the best at those long passes. I completely agree. Completely agree. And those runs from deep, very hard to pick up. We need to be doing more of that. Well done, James Maddison. Good start, Spurs. We've taken the corner quickly. Sonny to Madders. Turns his man. Gets to the byline, Madders. Great stuff. Rolls it back, but it's cleared. It comes back to Maddison. Oh, he tries to give it to Sonny. It's another corner. Good stuff from Spurs. And it looks like Sonny's been called for offside, actually. That was actually a bit of a rolling back the years goal from Spurs. Kind of an Eric Dyer to Dele Alli type goal. Eric Dyer just knocking it over the top, or an Alderweireld to Dele Alli. And the late run from the midfield. And that's something that Tottenham need to be doing more. And all I can say is so far is the special edition / fake shirt doing wonders for this Tottenham form. Ben Davies wins a header. Hoffenheim lay it down the line. Archie Gray strong on his man. And it's Hoffenheim. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's definitely a Hoffenheim throw, but it's been given to to Spurs, which was wrong. More people getting on this stream now as they come home from work, presumably. Got 1,000 people watching. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Please do press that subscribe button to Chris's channel and to mine. You can see my YouTube in the bottom left-hand corner there. Come and give me a subscribe for daily transfers and Tottenham content, transfer content during this January. Tottenham 1-0 up after 6 minutes at Hoffenheim. Quietened the crowd down. It's exactly what we needed to do. Archie Gray goes over the top with his throw to Richarlison. He's trying to hold it up. Goes back to the keeper. Maddison presses his man. That's a throw into Hoffenheim. We go backwards. And Richarlison's going to press the keeper here, who goes long. Radi Dragishin in the air, heads it. Bit of head tennis in midfield here, and Hoffenheim get the ball down. Bergvall pressing the centre half now. He goes to his right back. Hoffenheim now playing through midfield, but looking to press the second ball into midfield Spurs, but Hoffenheim have broken it quite well. But then a bad pass into Bentancur, who does beautifully. Then plays a bad pass himself to Bergvall, who slips. And now Hoffenheim have broken our midfield press. They've got 5 forward here, Hoffenheim. And they're in down the left-hand side. They've got another one down the left-hand side. Cuts it back. Good chance. And a good block from Dragishin. And now Spurs have to clear it. Bentancur gets a good foot in there as well, but Spurs unable to keep the ball in midfield. Hoffenheim having a bit more of the ball at the moment. Well, a good ball inside, but Bentancur again is picking up the scraps nicely. And now a great ball into Decky Kulusevski, who's got good position down the right, and Richarlison runs outside him. Richarlison tries the early crossing, and I tell you what, Sonny is free at the back post here. Son tries to take his man on, tries to give it to Madders, but in a bad position, unfortunately. Madders turning his man. He's doing good stuff in the box here, Madders. Cuts it back to Son, who turns. Lay it. Chance for Bergvall. Gives it to Richarlison, but too much in it. Unfortunately, it goes off for a throw-in, for a goal kick. Mr. 8 says, just working from home. Who's playing left back? Archie Gray is playing left back. Good win in the air from Ben Davies. And Bentancur, his positioning so far in this game has been excellent. Austin plays the ball to Bentancur, who turns his man well. Oh, lovely turn in midfield. And Madders is pulled back, and that's a yellow card. Well done, Madders. Cranshaw 91 says, love the shirt, dude. Where did you get it? I got it on my through my TikTok algorithm, 20 quid, and it came in about 2 weeks. I thought when I paid 20 quid for it, I thought this might be an absolute scam, but I love the look of it, and it came with Nike tags and everything. So if it is fake, although some people trying to say that it's a limited edition, I'm not sure. But if it is fake, then it's one of the best looking fakes I've ever had and I've ever got. And I'm into it. I'm big into it. Look, it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. And so far, it's been good luck for Spurs because we're 1-0 up at Hoffenheim after 10 minutes. And Richarlison gets a foot in there well. And then Bentancur tries to play a ball through to some runners, but it doesn't come off and he's frustrated with himself. God, do we need a fit Rodrigo Bentancur for the rest of this season or what? Porro picks the ball up. Oh, and dinks it over the top. But Sonny there didn't come towards the ball, unfortunately. He let his fullback come in and just head it back to his goalkeeper. Power Cord, thank you for your text. Says 4:25 a.m. down under. Come on, you Spurs. I love that commitment. I love it. Come on, Spurs. Oh, Hoffenheim have played through Tottenham's press now. And they're in down the right-hand side. And the midfield need to work back here. And they're kind of jogging a bit. Oh, and that's a poor ball. But actually, Hoffenheim's still out. And Ben Davies, a good cross. But it should come straight to Brandon Austin and does. Tom Bowdler asking, what season was that shirt? I don't think it's any season, mate. It's literally just out now. And I don't think it's real. But thank you. Deki Kulisevsky on the right touchline here. Looking for an option. He finds some space. Driving through midfield, but he loses it. And Hoffenheim now on the transition, but Deki works better back to get behind the ball. And they have to go Hoffenheim back. Kulich says, phew, we managed to not concede within a minute of scoring. That's true. Madders pressing his centre-back now. And that forces a bad ball. And now Tottenham are running at their defence. And Richarlison's in behind here. Has an early shot. It's saved, but where does the rebound come? Oh. Cleared. So Rishi gets his first shot on target. I thought he could have taken another touch there, maybe. But never mind. So the throw comes to Rishi. He's working hard. And the defender has to turn and hit it long. And Spurs now have the ball back with Dragoshin, who plays it across to Porro. Porro's been given quite a lot of stick recently for his performances, but that was a beautiful pass setting up that goal, wasn't it? Brilliant assist. Bergvall plays it across to Archie Gray. I love these two guys. I love them. Comes back to Dragoshin. Oh, he turns into a bit of a difficult area. Goes back to Austin and now to Ben Davies. There's a nice balance about this Spurs side with Ben Davies on the left-hand side of the two centre-backs. Maddison gives it out wide to Son. Plays it back to Bentancur. We're going backwards here a bit, Spurs. Bentancur turns beautifully. Gives it to Son. They're just moving Hoffenheim around at the moment. 13 minutes in. Comes to Dragoshin, who's obviously got those stitches above his eye. He's got a nice shiner as well from that Dominic Calvert-Lewin elbow at the weekend. Ben Davies now out wide to Madders. Madders is keeping his... Oh, good ball inside to Son. We don't see that nearly enough from Sonny, actually. Brilliant. We're in again. Chance Porro. Oh, he's hit it wide. Brilliant football from Spurs. We haven't seen a handball like that for a long time. And do you know what? I'll tell you exactly what happened there. Bentancur was under pressure and he turned away. He looked like he was going to go backwards. He turned away and then we slipped the ball. Sonny made an out to in run from the left-hand touchline. I think it had come to Madders first, maybe on the left-hand side. And that's what Son needs to do more out to in runs, because then he found Porro, who's at inverted position, and he thought Porro was going to score. He's quite central, and it was just wide right. Oh, and now Hoffenheim are in down the left-hand side. They easily get away from Maddison. They're in a good position here. Stand up. Sonny has worked hard to get back here. And the cross comes in. And Spurs clear it. John Doe says Porro's a terrible shooter. I disagree. He's actually got a brilliant shot on him, but he was very central, so he had to find an angle for it. Anyway. Oh, and that's a bad foul in midfield. And is that the guy who's been booked? Because that should be another booking. Maddison badly fouled there. And the referee lets him away with that, but I think that was a booking personally. Yeah, it's a pretty bad foul, that one, but he gets away with it. Come on, Spurs. Playing well here, and we need to get a second. Don't let these guys back in it. Ben Davis now. Oh, and Sonny's made a run, and that's a great ball from Davis. I love that, and that's where the balance comes in. Sonny is in the box now. Good first touch. Real chance for Sonny. Over the bar. And that shows how off form Sonny is at the moment. Really unlike Son. So unlike him to hit that over the bar. He'd cut inside with a chop. And all he has to do is place it into the far corner, as he always does. It's over the bar. He just snatches at it. Bentaker again wins the ball. And Decky turns it, but goes back to Porro. And then Porro plays it down the line towards Decky. And that should be a... No, thought it was a Spurs throw, but it's not. Jonathan says, Sonny has been horrendous. I honestly feel for him. No, he's started this game okay. He's just been in relatively bad form recently, but one goal should do it. One goal should do it, hopefully. Just needs a bit of confidence. But Spurs have started this game really well. Hoffenheim now in, just playing the ball in their own half, between their right back and their centre half. Lucas Bergvall, I like, is pressing them high as well. Even when Richarlison's pressing the keeper, Bergvall is pressing the second midfielder, trying to come and get the ball. Hoffenheim trying to pop it about. Oh, and they've done well. They've broken the first press, and they've got men forward now. And they've got men running forward. Yep, they're in down the left here if they want it. Yes. Chance for an early cross here. Cuts it back. Big chance. Oh, and Bentancur did beautifully. And then Spurs managed to clear it against their own man. Nearly goes off for a corner. But Porro manages to... Brilliant from Kulusevski. Porro cleared it from his own byline up to Kulusevski. Knew he was going to feel a touch and goes down and wins Spurs an important free kick. Alan Glauber says, Ange, rest Son and play Mikey, man. Well, if we can get Sonny a goal, that would be vital, I think. I have to say, Maddison's first touch for the goal was just unbelievable, and his finish. This is what we need more from Madders. Come on. What a goal that was. And he does his dart. Well done, Madders. And Ange giving him a big round. Come on, I hope Ange and Madders make up and everything starts or keeps going with that kind of level. Now, come on, Spurs. 17 minutes gone. It's been a good start, but now we have to make the most of it. Ben Davis has had a good game with the ball so far. Using that balance of having him on the left-hand side of the two centre-backs to open up the pitch. Kulusevski to Porro. Plays it down the line beautifully, and it's a good run from Bergvall, and he stays. He nearly slipped, but he did well there. He's under a lot of pressure, but does really well. Finds Porro, who's under pressure as well, has to turn away. Has to go back to Brandon Austin, who can open it up to Ben Davis, but he doesn't. He goes to Dragishin instead. Dragishin goes across to Ben Davis. Tom Badler says, seems like any team, no matter how amateur or crap, can create chances against us, and that has to change going forward. Well, I would say every football team concedes chances. Sonny tried to drive at his man and then dived on the floor. That was a bit disappointing from Sonny, I have to say. And now Hoffenheim getting through, and a good tackle from Bentancur, and that should be a Spurs throw, but it's not. Jonathan says, Ange needs to get more backup players. Apart from the 11, we don't have too many players who are experienced or good enough for the Prem. Well, that is definitely the argument at the moment, that we don't have enough in our squad. Anyway, Hoffenheim coming towards us now. Kramarić's going to have a shot here, and that is a foul from Kulusevski, and this will be a chance, a free kick chance for Hoffenheim. This is going to be a good opportunity for Hoffenheim, and Not sure we had to give away that foul. Kramaric was just aching for a touch on him. So this free kick is from about 28 yards, maybe. Austin just lining up his wall. We're into the 20th minute. Spurs have got a wall up, but it's pretty small. And Austin won't know whether this is going to be Schlozek with the right foot or the left foot of the other player. Here he comes. It's the right footer. And it's good wall work. And someone needs to head this second one. Ben Davies needs to be strong there. And well done, Richarlison. Works really hard and now brings it out of the box. Win something here, Rishi. He doesn't. He loses the ball, unfortunately. And Bergvall's helping him. They get the cross in. That's poor defending from Spurs. But once again, Rodrigo Bentancur with excellent defending, and he clears it. And Hoffenheim appealing for a handball, but it definitely wasn't. Kramaric getting a lot of time on the ball at the moment for Hoffenheim. And they've got it back now. Comes out wide left. There's a penalty check ongoing, apparently. That would be very depressing if that penalty gets given against us. It just looked like it was incredibly close to Bentancur. They're holding the play for a penalty check here. Let's have a look at this. Oh, no. No, it's been checked. Okay. Hoffenheim now flicked it through. But good defending there from Ben Davies. Throw into Hoffenheim. They're bringing up a bit of pressure here, Hoffenheim. Oh, and Madison, a bit of a problem here for Hoffenheim. Madison is through. He won't have the pace for this. He needs to hold it up. He does. And Sonny is through. Sonny is through one-on-one. I'll tell you what, it's a goal. Sonny got his bit of luck, and I'm so pleased for him. He took a little bit too long to get his shot away, but when he did, it deflects off the defender and over the goalkeeper, and that is a bit of luck that Spurs have needed. And James Maddison was the one who took advantage of a mistake in midfield as the ball broke, and then he did very well. No, and they're trying to bring it back. They're trying to suggest that Bentancur's handball was a handball, but it's not. And Maddison did really well there. He knew he didn't have the pace as he went through, so he had to hold it up, and then he got it through to Son. It took a while for Sonny to bring it down, and it's unlucky for Hoffenheim, but we deserve that luck. And that is 2-0 Tottenham Hotspur. And Hoffenheim fans will complain because they wanted a penalty against Rodrigo Bentancur, but the ball was, his arms were down by his side. It was incredibly close. Nothing going. And that is Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham 2. As the ball comes back to Ben Davies. And he lays it across to Brandon Austin. He needs to get rid of it. He goes to Bergvall, but Bergvall was pressed, and that was a bit dangerous. Austin just needs to get rid of those. Good stuff from Richarlison on halfway using his strength. And Decky helps him out. Oh, beautiful from Kulusevski. Oh, and then Richarlison has given away a free kick off the ball. Mental. Completely unnecessary. What's that? Kulusevski was in there, and Richarlison has been called back for a foul, and it never, ever was. But anyway, Hoffenheim back on the ball, and Spurs playing this game a bit on the break. And they're good defending there, and Richarlison holds it up well, and then Bentancur tries a ball over the top to Decky, but it doesn't make him. Doesn't make it to him. I'm older than Sam. Thank you for your comment. Says, Matters up for this match. Great to see. Yeah, I think an early goal will have helped him, and we need him now. We need him this season from here on in, Matters. Come on. Anyway, because I'm a Spurs fan, I'm like, let's get the third. I need us to get the third. 23 minutes gone. The new shirt doing wonders at the moment. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, the commentator just saying Spurs fans sitting at home won't feel relaxed. Yeah, just because I'm a Spurs fan. That's how it works. Hoffenheim get a cross in. Oh, and another cross in. Good chance here at the back post. Chance. Great block from Archie Gray. Wow, we shouldn't have let it get that far. The back post. Richarlison holding it up on halfway. Tries to find Kulusevski outside him, and they're trying to play it together, and Richarlison's broken it. He hasn't got the pace for that, though. He's not blessed with pace, Rishi. And it's good that we've got a replacement for Solanke while he's injured at the moment, and fingers crossed Rishi can stay injured, who can play with his back to goal a bit. Richarlison is using his body really well. Archie Gray working hard in midfield there. Anders Helgeson says, who is my favourite Spurs player right now? Let's all answer that, guys. Answer that in the comments. Who is your favourite Spurs player at the moment? It's a good question. And Hoffenheim just in down the left. Let me have a think about that. Hoffenheim go for an early cross, and it's well blocked by Dragishin at the near post. Yeah, I'd probably have to say Deki Kulusevski at the moment, just because his improvement this season has been beyond, and he's just a top player. But yeah, I've got a lot of players I really like, but it's very difficult when you're in such a bad mood in general because of how bad the form is to think that way. But I love Archie Gray. I love Lucas Bergvall. I love Deki Kulusevski. I love Dom Solanke. I think he's amazing. Cross comes in from the corner. Chance outside the box now. Oh, goes outside of the boot. Blocked. And I tell you what, a shot came just 8 yards out, and it's saved by Austin. It goes straight down his throat. They're appealing for another penalty. The first shot is blocked by Bergvall. Nah, Archie Gray gets his body in. Rick Kane says Werner. Stuart Wheeler says once he's back, it'll be VDV. Yeah, I love Mickey van der Ven. Just need him to stay fit, don't we? Duncan Tweed says Deki could be captain for the next 5 years. Yeah. Long ball from Hoffenheim. Dragishin gets his first head on it, and now they go for a long shot, and that goes out for a corner. It was deflected by Porro, who I think is complaining that Brandon Austin didn't need to dive at that. So I don't know if it actually hit Porro or whether Austin got something on it. Let's have a look. No, I don't think it hits Porro. I don't think it hits either of them. So this is the first corner, is it? Or certainly not one of the first few corners. Hoffenheim is lining up a lot of men on the edge of the box to make late runs. So unlike in the Premier League, Austin will have a lot of space. They're doing a kind of love train here, a la England in the 2018 World Cup. It's going to be an outswing corner. They've got men running in here. First header is cleared. And then Sonny plays a lovely ball into Kulusevski, who's 1 against 2. And they've got 2 runners coming up Spurs here. If he can hold this up and play someone in, he does. It's Matters. But the ball didn't have enough on it, and it's well defended. That's a shame from Deki there, but Spurs still have the ball. Spurs have the ball again still, though. Oh, and good stuff down the left-hand side. Sonny then plays it to Archie Gray, who's in down the left. He looks to get a cross in. It's a beautiful cross, but nobody was there. Good stuff from Gray and Son. And Spurs keep the ball on the left-hand side. Good stuff. Matters turns away. So comfortable on the ball, Matters. If we can get our players back, we'll see him at his best. I'm sure we will. I hope we will anyway. Good point from Godfrey Drummond here. Thank you for your comment. I'm glad Hoffenheim are using a box midfield. Leaves their fullbacks exposed on the transition. Yeah, lovely point. As Davis plays it across to Dragishin into the 29th minute now. Dragishin out to Bergvall, who's pressed, but is strong enough and turns away and then is fouled about 8 times. And he's stayed down, Bergvall. And a Hoffenheim player has stayed down as well. Interesting to see what happened there. Bergvall looks uncomfortable on the floor. And it's Stack who stayed down for Hoffenheim. I wonder if something happened here where one of them is... So Bergvall gets his touch on the ball and then is kind of kick each other in the end. Looks like an impact injury to me. And they're just showing the goal again. Basically, there was bad communication in midfield from the 2 Hoffenheim defenders. Then Matters holds it up, plays the ball through to Son. It's deflected into his path. He eventually gets it down left foot. Deflected over the keeper. And that is the bit of luck that Son will need. His first goal in a fair while, I'd say. He doesn't look ecstatic, Son. He just looks relieved. Stuart Wheeler, thanks for your support, mate. Says, well, I'm leaving work now. I'm going to listen to you in the car. Should be 5-0 by the time I get home. Thanks for the great commentary. Have you watched Spurs before, mate? I hope you're right, but I wouldn't bet on it. Anyway, game is kicked off again now. Dragishin with the ball. Lays it across to Ben Davis. Dragishin's 18th different centre-back partner of the season. Richarlison pressing the goalkeeper, and he has to kick it long and high. It's flicked on, and Ben Davis does well on halfway, and Bentancur is always a willing option at the moment. I love having him on the pitch, excuse me. Brandon Austin now looks relaxed. Gives it to Dragishin. He gives it to Porro, comes inside a bit, and he gives it to Bentancur, takes it on the half turn beautifully. Needs help here. Yeah, he does amazingly, Bentancur. Under pressure from 2 or 3 players and gets the ball out to Ben Davis, and that should allow some space down the left. Archie Gray does well inside to Madders. He plays it across to Porro, and I think he maybe could have kept it where it was there because there was a lot of space out there. Comes back to Dragishin instead. Rick Kane asks, Barnaby, are you happy with Austin so far? Yeah, he looks pretty calm, which is good. Bentancur taking up some good positions so far. Spurs get it down the left to Son. Into Archie Gray. Oh, Archie Gray can't quite take it with him, unfortunately. Richarlison pressing his man, and it comes to the left back. The left back plays it inside, a bit of a risky ball, and Madders fancied a piece of that, but it didn't come to him. And Hoffenheim just popping it about now. Spurs, again, as they have done most of this game, kind of trying to play on the transition when they can get the ball back around midfield or in the defensive line and spring forward quickly. Which, of course, all the Ange haters will suggest he never tweaks it. But we've been playing this way for quite a while now since these injuries have happened. And when it works, it really works well. Hoffenheim in the right back position now into the 32nd minute. Captain Mannering, thanks for your message. Says Rishi showing heart. Indeed, he does. Diagonal ball over the top of Archie Gray here. It's an early cross cleared by Ben Davis. Another chance for a shot outside the box, perhaps for Hoffenheim, but no, not yet anyway. And now they're in down the right-hand side. Early cross. It's a good one. Oh, great save, Brandon Austin. Great save to his right, low. It wasn't brilliantly struck, but he had to save it. Oh, it's a really good save. Really good. And now we're in down the left with Sonny. He's trying to use his pace, but he's not as quick now as he used to be. And he wins the throw-in. I'll tell you why it's such a great save, because it's down to his right, but also it came through bodies, and then he gets up quickly and dives on it. Oh, good stuff from Archie Gray down the left. Oh, a little step over as well. Wins the throw-in. He's so good on the ball, Archie Gray. I love him. Yeah, Captain Mannering says, not bad for 4th choice keeper. Spurs, Lucas Bergvall doing beautifully to keep the ball around their box here. And then gets it back from Sonny. Bentancur backs away from him. And then Bentancur finds Archie Gray on the left. Gives it to Son, and then Gray makes the run outside him. And then Sonny threatens to cross it, but beats his man instead. Lays it to Bergvall. And Sonny was fouled in the box there, but it's not given, or outside the box. Good stuff between Decky and Porro on the right. But Decky has to go backwards to Bentancur, who then it comes all the way across the back line. And Dragishin gives it to Ben Davis, and Sonny is outside him. And there is Sonny now. And he will get the cross in early this time, but it hits the first man, unfortunately, as Rishi was in there and Bergvall making a late run. Make sure you get all your comments in, guys, because I will be talking to you during the halftime break, of course. So get your comments in now, and I'm going to leave them for the next 10 minutes. So we've got stuff to talk about at halftime, and I will, of course, do a a breakdown of what happened in this first half. As Hoffenheim play it over the top in the inside left channel. Good defending there. Oh, but Ben Davies given away a foul. He's not sure it was, but this is a chance for Hoffenheim to get the ball into the box. It's just in the inside left channel. Yeah, Ben Davies kind of wrong side there. A little bit eager to get the ball. If you haven't already, guys, make sure you subscribe to Chris Cowlin's channel, at Chris Cowlin. Do give this video a like. The more likes we have, the more people will see it. Let's get this watch along viewed by as many people as we can. 1,800 of you watching it concurrently at the moment. Thank you so much for your support. And if you like transfer videos, transfer rumors, transfer talk, my YouTube channel is in the bottom left there, at Barnaby Slater _. Daily transfer videos at the moment during January, and always starting, of course, with my beloved Tottenham Hotspur. Hoffenheim with a chance to get a goal back here, though, with a free kick that they're going to whip into the box. Spurs keeping their defensive line on the 18-yard line. And it's going to be a left footer. Yeah, and it's headed at the near post. And it was offside anyway. Spurs looking to do it quickly to Pedro Porro. He's a bit isolated, but he plays a great ball down the line to Kulusevski, who holds it up magnificently. But he has to go backwards. Gives it inside to Richarlison, who's wrong side. And now Hoffenheim can break. It's a little bit basketball-y here. It comes to the right, left-hand side, but Pedro Porro gets his body in the way well. 36 minutes gone. Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Hoffenheim, I'm sure, in the possession stats will have had more, I would have thought. Oh, there we go. It's 50-50, actually. Just in time. Just when I said it, they brought the possession stats up. Hoffenheim chip one over, and they're free in the middle. They've got 2 against 1 in the middle. Deary me. Pedro Porro does brilliantly, but that defending is so poor from Spurs. What is going on there? It must have been a late run from deep, because neither Dragoshin or Davis are anywhere. Terrible defending from Spurs. It's a corner. This one's going to be an in-swinger. Beats the first man. And it's another corner. Deary me. How can Spurs let an opposition team have 2 men so free in the middle of the box like we just did? They were on like the penalty spot. There was only 1 defender in there, and Porro did brilliantly to go to the right man to block it off and make it a corner. But really, come on. That was, honestly, that did look like under 10s. Anyway, here's going to come the next corner. Another in-swinger. Austin's going to come for that one and gets punches on it. Well done. Kulusevski now on the edge of the box trying to hold it up. What's he doing there? Bonkers. And now Hoffenheim in down the right-hand side. Spurs should have just cleared that. And good defending from Archie Gray. Corner. And now they do a corner quickly here. And the cross is going to come in straight to Austin, though. Well caught. And he's looking for a long throw, Austin. Oh, and he's thrown it straight down the middle, but Kulusevski didn't have the pace. God, and that is where, my God, do we need like an Odder bear. 10 attempts to Hoffenheim, 5 from Spurs, but Spurs have 2 goals. That's the important thing. Hoffenheim again. And Kulusevski does well to get back there and get a touch on the ball. And then a terrible ball from Dragoshin just pings it at Kulusevski, and Spurs have lost it again. Hoffenheim in down the left here. Bring it back. And now they're going to get the cross in. It's a deep one, but Bentancur gets his head on it. Rishi, he's got to hold it here. He doesn't. He loses it, but Bergvall finds Kulusevski. He's being pressed. Goes to Porro, who just plays it kind of aimlessly into midfield. And Hoffenheim get it back. Spurs starting to look fatigued. Hoffenheim go with an early cross to the back post. This is good football. Chance outside the box here for Hoffenheim. Well blocked. And good bravery from Dragoshin. And it's saved. Wow. Shot comes in and it's saved. Spurs not managing to hold the ball up in the final third at the moment, which is a bit of a throwback to last season and something that is happening at the moment. And Hoffenheim getting up some head of steam here with 5 minutes to go till half time. They play it down towards the byline on the right-hand side. They know, as all teams do, that Spurs are appalling from crosses, not only at stopping them at source, but also marking the back stick. Archie Gray has done well at the back stick so far today, and Pedro Porro has done okay as well. But Hoffenheim just keeping possession at the moment. Archie Gray does well there down the line. So throw in again to Hoffenheim. Apparently Hoffenheim they have a long throw merchant. So we're back to the days of Tamworth here. Here comes the long throw. It's not that long, to be honest. And Bentancur gets it down. Oh, and plays a beautiful ball to Sonny. He plays it down the line to Richarlison, who tries to win a foul and just ends up kicking it off the pitch. He's got to hold it up better than that, Rishi. Come on, mate. 5 minutes, or just less than 5 minutes till half time. Hoffenheim on the ball again here. And they play the long diagonal. And that's so easy. Early cross back, but Bentancur covers really well and then does a step over in his own box, which is arguably not a great idea. But actually, we've managed to clear it up to Richarlison, who plays a beautiful ball to Deki Kulusevski. And now can Tottenham put their foot on the ball and keep it for a bit? Maddison, you've got a man on you there, mate. Well done. That's it. It was actually Bergvall who helped us to keep the control of the ball there and put our foot on it for a bit, which we hadn't done for quite a while. Porro in midfield. Plays it to Deki, who's got a runner outside him. Oh, but Kulusevski there played a horrible ball and Spurs are lucky to win it back. Dragishin plays it to Ben Davis, who plays it inside to Madders. He goes to Porro. He goes outside him to Deki. Back to Porro. And this is good from Spurs. 3 minutes to half time, just popping it about. First time we've done it for a while. Ben Davis comes back to Dragishin, who gives it out to Kulusevski. He's pressed by two players straight away, and so goes back to Dragishin. Goes inside to Bentancur, goes straight back to Dragishin. This is good game management from Spurs. Maddison coming deep to help. He's going to give it across to Archie Gray or Ben Davis. It goes to Ben Davis first. He turns back onto his right side and goes across to Dragishin. It's a bit of a heavy ball, and so Dragishin turns away. Goes back to Brandon Austin. Austin gives it to Bentancur, goes to Dragishin. Goes to Deki Kulusevski. Beautiful flick into Bergvall. Beautiful flick. This is unbelievable football from Spurs now. And we've broken the press and Deki's driving narrow. And now Richarlison's in the inside right position. Can he find the man? Oh, it's a poor pass to Maddison. Otherwise, we would have been in. But we've still got the ball just outside the box with Bergvall. Brings it onto his left. Plays it across to Gray. And he's got Sonny outside him. Now Sonny is one-on-one. Gives it into Bergvall again. It's going to be a corner, is it? No, it's actually not a corner. But that was good football from Spurs. Best bit of football of the half, I'd say. It was patience, really, more than anything. We've still got the ball now with Archie Gray on the left. And Madders is fouled. He wins a foul, and that's good stuff from him. It was beautiful, patient build-up from Spurs in their own half, and then two amazing back heels from Deki and from Bergvall. Unfortunately, Richarlison couldn't find Maddison with his final ball, but that really was magnificent play from Spurs, and we're into the last minute, depending on how much added time in this first half. It's Hoffenheim 0, Spurs 2. And that, for me, is a good example of what Spurs need to be doing in the second half. Get the ball down, put their foot on it, and make Hoffenheim chase them. Something we haven't been doing enough on, because that will keep our stamina up as well. Give us a recovery time and a breather. Madder's going to whip this one in. It's a good delivery chance. Should have been a goal. Bergvall had a free header. Didn't get enough on it. I think it hit his shoulder in the end. Breaks to Kulusevski. He's going to go back to Maddison, I think. Maddison now gets to the byline. Beautiful stuff. Cuts it back. Corner. I'm surprised that Bergvall didn't get a clean header on it. It hits his shoulder. He's actually brilliant in the air, Bergvall. What a delivery from Maddison. I'm not surprised, though, that he got there, Bergvall, because he's brilliant in the air and he makes really good runs to win headers. Now it's going to be a Sonny corner. Should be 3-0. It's a deep one from Sonny and just goes straight into the keeper. Every single Spurs player went to the near post and Sonny went far post. That just strikes me as bad communication. Really odd. Either bad communication or terrible delivery from Son. Oh, good block from Ben Davis. Oh, he tried to pick out Decky Kulusevski on the right. We've got 30 seconds, about 28 seconds left of this half now. Hoffenheim have the ball. They play the big diag up to their fullback. They've got a man breaking in behind there. Kramaric doesn't look for him. Now he does. And Spurs want him to be offside here. The cross comes in. Oh, dear. Poor defending. And it's a great block. And then Brandon Austin helps him out. But terrible defending from Spurs. The ball broke to the edge of the box. And it's blocked from Dragusin. And that's half time. It's not even the edge of the box. He was 12 yards out. Anyway, so it is Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Goals from James Maddison and Son Heung-min. And it looks good for Spurs, but it's by no means a settled game because Hoffenheim are having a lot of the possession. Spurs kind of sitting back, as you imagine they will with all the games they've played and all the injuries they've got. And Hoffenheim continue to cut the ball back and get chances on the edge of the box or closer, as we just saw in the last few seconds of that half when their player had a shot from 12 yards and Dragusin did well. He's a brilliant box defender, Dragusin. He gets his body in the way. He wins headers. And he's blocked quite a few today. Both him and Archie Gray have played really well in the back line. Porro's done well as well with his positioning at times. And Ben Davis has offered really good balance. So it's not dead and buried by any means. We really could do with the third goal, that's for sure. But at halftime, in an away European performance, you cannot be unhappy with that. This is what happened. Second minute, beautiful outside of the boot cross from Richarlison. Nearly got to Decky Kulusevski at the back post, but the keeper was able to dive at his feet to stop him from getting a cross away. Third minute is when we got the goal, though. Pedro Porro had far too much space in the right back position, and he plays one of those beautiful drifting balls over the top with a little bit of fade on it. He's really good at that. And James Maddison did something we haven't seen enough of from him, which is make a deep, late run over the back, in behind the defense. And his first touch in the air with his instep, absolutely beautiful with his laces. And then the second touch roofs it over the goalkeeper into the top of the net. Fantastic goal. And I said before this game, we need something from James Maddison today. We need him to show us that he still believes in this project, that he still believes in this manager. We need him to show us that he's a senior player, that he is one of the vice captains, and bring everybody else up with him. Grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and he really did that with that early goal. Fantastic from Maddison. 7th minute, Hoffenheim got in after a poor ball from Rodrigo Bentancur. Good shot blocked by Radu Dragusin, his first of many blocks this half. 8th minute, good break from Tottenham, got us into the box, but we couldn't get a shot off. And that is quite something that's happened quite regularly in this half, is Tottenham have got into good positions in and around the box, but not quite managed to get a shot off. 9th minute, great position and positioning and showing so far in this game from Bentancur. Yeah, he had a bad pass in the 7th minute, but his positioning has actually been excellent in that number 6 role, doing a lot of sweeping up when there are kind of loose touches around the box from either Spurs players or Hoffenheim players, and also offering himself for short passes from Austin, from Dragusin, from Ben Davis and Archie Gray. And then in that 9th minute as well, James Maddison took a ball beautifully on the half turn in midfield and got a booking for one of their central defenders who had followed him. Good stuff from him there. 11th minute, Richarlison got in behind, took his shot a little bit early in the inside right position, went across the keeper. It was an easy save for him. And then the rebound didn't quite fall to a Tottenham player, unfortunately. But good stuff from Spurs, getting Richarlison in behind. 13th minute, made a note here. Brilliant football from Spurs. Yeah, this was one of the things that I haven't seen nearly enough from Son Heung-min recently on the left-hand side, starting getting his boots covered in chalk on the wide, on the touchline, but making an outside to inside run. I hate to compare to them lot down the road, but it's something that Arsenal do brilliantly with Bukayo Saka. He'll start out wide and then make a run inside. And this time it was a beautiful ball into Sonny, where he was making that out to in run. And then he played a lovely ball into Pedro Porro, who's breaking pretty free centrally towards the box. And he hit it, I think, with his left foot just wide of the left-hand post. Great stuff from Spurs, though. 15th minute, brilliant ball from Davis to Son, who was in. But after coming inside, he chopped it inside, and you thought, this is a classic Son position. He's got into the box. He's beaten his man. He's just going to bend it into the far corner. But he kind of snatched it, hit it over the bar, going for the inside post, going for the near post. And I've written here, so unlike him. But then, the 21st minute, thankfully, Sonny got the second goal. The ball broke into midfield after a corner, I think it was, with all the Spurs players back. But as two Hoffenheim players one of them should have taken control of it. Neither of them did. So James Maddison nicked in, and he was in, but he didn't have the pace to get away from the recovering defender. So he holds the ball up and then passes it through to Sonny, who's in. The ball takes a while to come down for him, though, because it's been deflected off a defender. And as Sonny takes his left foot shot, it deflects off the recovering defender over the goalkeeper. A bit of luck for Sonny. He deserves it. And Tottenham 2-0 up. 24th minute then. Great shot blocked from Archie Gray, who's performed well today. 26th minute, a chance 8 yards out, but Gray again did enough to stop a good shot from getting from the Hoffenheim player from getting a good shot away, and it was easily saved by Brandon Austin. Then in the 27th minute, a great break from Spurs. Decky Kulusevski down the right, but sadly, when we just needed him to come up with a perfect weight of pass for Maddison, who would have been in, it just wasn't quite heavy enough, and he was tackled. 32nd minute, great save from Brandon Austin down to his right. The ball broke to their player in the box, and the shot came through bodies. It really was an excellent full stretch save to his right from Brandon Austin, who's been really comfortable so far. And then to make even better from Austin, he dived on the rebound straight away. 36th minute, the worst bit of defending from Spurs, as somehow Hoffenheim found themselves with two men around 12 yards out in the box and only Pedro Porro anywhere near them. I guess what must have happened is that we tried to play the offside trap and Pedro Porro probably stayed in. And he then made the right decision and went towards the ball and got it out for a corner. It was really awful defending from Spurs, but we got away with it. 37th minute, Austin punched away a corner. Good assertiveness from him. 39th minute, Hoffenheim had another chance after a shot was blocked. And then once again, third or fourth time, Archie Gray did enough at the last to stop the striker getting a good connection on the shot, and it was saved by Austin straight to him. 43rd minute, probably the best football for Spurs. Beautiful, patient build-up in our own half, and then it came to Kulusevski with a brilliant back heel, and then to Lucas Bergvall with a second back heel, and we were in down the right. Got to Richarlison in behind, but his final ball, unfortunately, was blocked, and we didn't score from it. Then the 45th minute, huge chance for Bergvall from a Maddison free kick. He's only about 6 yards out, should just head it home, but he got his shoulder on it. It's kind of surprising because Bergvall is a brilliant header of the ball. And then just another shot blocked from Dragusin in the last, kind of one of the last kicks of the game. And they're just showing that Maddison goal again. Absolutely beautiful. The ball from Porro, so perfect over the top. Maddison in behind. His first touch takes it away from the defender. And his second touch is the finish over the goalkeeper. On the half volley, just foot through it. Fantastic. And Peter Crouch, just in the punditry booth, says it's really nice to be sat there praising Tottenham. You get the sense it's been a while for him. Okay, guys, so this is what is going to happen for the rest of the game. I'll do the second half watch along. I'll be talking to you guys in the comments, getting through your comments for the rest of half time. And then after the game straight away, there will be a post-match reaction show. And then it will be the fan show after that, where Tottenham fans from around the world call in and speak to me about their feelings on tonight's performance and the season as a whole. And then after that, at about 8:45, we will have Craig Dearman hosting the Spurs Chat podcast. 8:45, he'll be joined by Melvin Zureb, Gary Waters, and Terry Kim. Guys, make sure, if you're not already, do subscribe to Chris Cowlin's channel, @ChrisCowlin. He is the don of Tottenham Hotspur content, just giving you so much content every single day. Also, if you like the cut of my jib on this watch along and you're not already a subscriber to my channel, this January I'm bringing you daily transfer rumours videos, always starting with all the transfer talk about Tottenham Hotspur. And of course, every day, even when we're not in the transfer window, bringing you Tottenham content. So do find my channel at Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube. The underscore at the end is vital because that is my Tottenham channel at Barnaby Slater _ okay, guys, let's get into the comments and see what you guys are saying. TSOM says Porro has been very good. Daniel Levy, I don't think it's the real Daniel Levy. Interesting choice. Anxiety, high blood pressure football club. Yeah, I mean, that is just supporting Tottenham, isn't it? Angie's cough medicine says that ball Sonny hit over the bar just landed in Poland. Yeah, there are some people in the comments posting abusive comments, but I can't block them, I'm afraid. I don't have the control to do that. But if you're so bored that you have to come in here and send stupid troll comments, then probably a bit boring, aren't you, mate? Angie's cough medicine says Son and Porro missed 2 easy goals. They couldn't hit the ocean from a boat. Okay, I'm not sure you're a Spurs fan either, are you? Angie's cough medicine, I guess you are, though. Oh, dear. Well, thank you for the engagement, Big Barry. Really appreciate that, but very, very boring, mate. I don't know what you're doing. Daniel Stanton, I like this, giving it the Can't Smile Without You song. Yeah, it is nice to see Tottenham ahead, but frankly, it's frightening being a Spurs fan, so who knows what is going to happen next? You just do not know. Oh, dear. Lots and lots of comments, but all from Big Barry. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Just going through them now. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Gardu, thank you, mate. Says legs may be an issue into the deep into the second half, especially with the academy bench. Andrew will hope another 2 early goals to bag it. Then we'll be comfortable to rest main players. Kids on the bench is big ask to support. Yeah, I completely agree. It's going to be difficult with the lack of depth that we have on the bench. That's to say the least. Maestro says easy. We'll win if only we had a manager who would slow down and defend 2-0 instead of leaving us open to counters. I have to say, Maestro, I disagree with you there. We are pretty much playing deep and on the break all game as far as I'm concerned. So that's how it goes. Let me see if I can block this person. Yes, I can actually. Ban user and delete their comments. Okay, guys, sorry, I didn't know I was able to do that, but I've managed to do it. So there we go. Rubayat Hussein Jowd, thank you very much for your support. Says, can you please tell me how I can join the fan show? Yes, I can actually. If you send an email to tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com, that's tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com, then Chris Cowlin, whose channel this is, should be able to get you on for the next fan show. I'll put that in the comments as well, guys. So if you want to be on the fan show in future weeks, you can find it at tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. I've posted it there across all the platforms. And I'm just going to ban him again. Okay, so Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. JDK117 says Spurs will see it through. Lolo back in the midfield just feels right. Yeah, we just need Rodrigo Bentancur to stay fit, don't we? Absolutely desperate to keep him fit. Joel Hunter says the young striker from Hoffenheim is a bit about him. Yeah, he looks all right. Joe says, who mods this channel? Well, I've managed to block that guy now, so hopefully that stays. I didn't realize I was able to, so there you go. We've all learned something tonight. Randin, thank you for your support, mate. Says, great from Spurs. Hopefully we get 2 more and the youngsters come in. Richarlison needs to do more, though. Son should get another goal as well. It will bring him all the confidence he needs. Yeah, right, well, let's hope so. Really hope that all happens. Yeah, so Tottenham with a 2-goal lead. Let's talk a little bit, guys, about the... Let's talk a little bit about the transfer window. How confident, let me know in the comments, guys, how confident are you guys that we will indeed get some players in before, what are we on? We're on the 23rd now, so we've got about a week and a day left of the transfer window. How confident are you that we will find a way to get some more players in? It doesn't seem that likely to me. But I'm hoping that my being kind of feeling a little negative about it means that actually they'll surprise me. That's what I'm really hoping. But yeah, doesn't seem like a lot of opportunities for players coming in at the moment. Not, as we all know, January very difficult to get players in. But we did get Bentancur and Kulusevski in January, and Juventus have spent a lot of money so far this January and bought a lot of players in. So I wonder if there are some other Juventus kind of players not getting in their first team who Paratici likes, who we can get hold of. TSOM says we need players in, but it isn't looking good. Unbelievable, really. Captain Mannering says, bargain basement. Rick Kane says, not confident at all. May as well suggest Levy talking to Mbappe or Vinicius Jr. Joe says, ends 3rd of Feb, so a little bit longer to get someone in. Is that true? Let me have a look. Oh, yes. Here we go. 2025 runs from January the 1st to February the 3rd. Okay. All right. So it's a bit longer than I thought. Thank you for that, Intel. Really appreciate that. Key Bike, thank you for, or Kai Bike, thank you for your support. Says, I feel Decky will score and perhaps Bergvall. I hope so. Randint, thanks again, says, hoping to at least see a midfielder or a defender. A defensive midfielder would be great replacement for Bissouma. And we need to strengthen our defense. Yeah, completely agree. Truth be told, bit of a deep one here. It says, I think people can't speak for themselves and just follow whatever the media say. When you know F all, you think for yourself about the game. Okay, don't know what that is really. And just cough medicine says, this isn't FM24. You can't just bring in anyone you want. That is true. Obviously, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes and how difficult it is. They're just showing now on TNT the Man United players. It's a battle of Britain, isn't it, at Old Trafford? Tell me what you think, guys, about Ange's situation at the moment. I've been saying, as the Spurs players come out, I've been saying that I think one of the reasons that Ange is still in a job is because of how Manchester United have done since Ruben Amorim came in. And it's shown really that changing doesn't necessarily improve anything. You know, they went and got one of the most sought after managers in Europe, and still it hasn't helped them turn things around. In fact, arguably it's got worse. And I think that has probably, among other reasons, helped Levy decide to not make a change. So see what happens. Sour Crust says this, instead of spending in the transfer market, I think Levy will sack Ange and hope the new manager makes the players better. Well, one of the other reasons I think he's not sacked Ange is because I don't think there are other managers available, really. Anyway, the game has kicked off now for the second half. And an early offside against Hoffenheim, so Spurs will have a chance to get the ball down. No changes so far. Napoli Painted says, what do you think about Kolo Muani rejecting Spurs? Well, did he reject Spurs or did he just choose Juventus, who are a bigger club? Let's face it. I can't tell you how boring this guy Big Barry is in the comments, because he seems to be just creating endless YouTube accounts to keep on sending the same stuff. It's so weird. What a weirdo. Anyway, Lucas Bergvall bringing the ball out of midfield and lays it across to Archie Gray. Good stuff. Maddison gives a bit of a dodgy ball to Archie Gray. He has to turn away from his man, and then it goes off for a throw-in. Yeah, Kulich says, Jamie O'Hara said we are playing like a bunch of reserves, but we actually have been playing a virtual reserve team for the last couple of months. Exactly. And you see it quite a lot, don't you, in like Europa League games or League Cup games, when clubs bring in their reserve team, they don't have a rhythm. And that's one of the things that Spurs have suffered from, isn't it? Thanox is only an idiot will get rid of Ange at this point of the season. Well, let's see what happens if you'll say the same thing if anything bad happens here. Anyway, or against Leicester. Hoffenheim in down the left now, going to get a cross in. It's a looped cross towards the back stick. Comes over Archie Gray. Hoffenheim now. Again, another chance for a cross. No one stops it. But it's cleared from Ben Davis to Richarlison. He plays a bit of a heavy ball to Bentancur. And it's easily taken off him. And then a shot from Hoffenheim. And this will come through to Archie Gray, to Brandon Austin. And he rolls it out quickly to Pedro Porro. And Kulusevski makes a run over the top, and it's found by Pedro Porro. He has to turn away from his fullback. No, he doesn't. He goes back down the line, but he doesn't have the pace. That's the only thing you can say about Kulusevski. He doesn't have pace. In fact, if he had pace, he'd be an absolutely unbelievable world-class player. But also, if he had pace, I'm not sure Tottenham would have been able to buy him. So you take what you can get, really, as Bentancur wins a header in midfield, and it breaks down to Hoffenheim. Bit of a stat there. Spurs have only won once in the last, I think, 7 or 8 performances against German sides, and that was against Eintracht Frankfurt a couple of seasons ago. And another cross comes in. Bentancur's touch finds a Hoffenheim player, and they try and dink it over, and Davis clears it up towards Richarlison, who struggles to hold it up, and the defender gets it back to their keeper. And Glenn Hoddle on CoCom's just saying how Hoffenheim are putting a lot of bodies forward. So if Spurs can defend it, there should be opportunities on the break. If only Spurs had some pace on the subs bench or on the pitch, there'd be real opportunities on the transition. Hoffenheim just popping the ball around in midfield at the moment. 48 minutes gone. And they get it out wide left. And again, they try and play an early cross in. It comes to their striker. Bentancur gets a touch, but they were offside anyway, Hoffenheim. And can Spurs do this early whilst Hoffenheim still have players forward? And it looks like they are trying to, but I'm being shown a replay, which I don't want to be shown. But Spurs have gone back to Austin. Oh, his first touch is dodgy, so he has to kick it long. Bentancur, Kulusevski. Spurs not really working in midfield here at the moment. Hoffenheim working a lot harder. Get it out wide left again. And an easy cross comes in again. Another cutback cross. Every time they cut it back to the edge of the box, Hoffenheim have men there. But Bentancur brings it out of midfield and tries to find Kulusevski, but it's telegraphed, and Spurs just being a bit lackadaisical here. And another easy cross comes into the box, cleared by Dragoshin. I just wish Tottenham would try and stop crosses. Jesus. It's one of my biggest bugbears with Ange's style, that we just let cross after cross come in. And here's going to be another one. Comes into the box, cut back, cleared by Dragoshin again. Hoffenheim pick it up. Spurs have started this half just jogging around. Really lazy start. Yeah, Mo says lazy start. And here we go again. Hoffenheim driving at our back line. Dragoshin just clears it, but Maddison was asking him to be a bit more composed on the ball, but he wasn't. And another cross comes in. This time Ben Davies gets the first ball, but it comes to the edge of the box. Another shot, this time dropped by Porro, blocked by Porro. But Hoffenheim, again, first to the rebound. And they dink it into the back stick. Dragoshin does really well, and it's offside anyway. Now, it might be time for Spurs to try and put their foot on the ball a little bit here. It's been a terrible first 5 minutes of the second half. Yeah, Glenn Hoddle on CoCom's just saying if this pattern of the game continues, Tottenham will concede the next goal. Maddison plays it into Bentancur. Oh, plays a lovely ball into Son. And then Son tries to take on his man. And as a result, Spurs have lost the ball. Poor from Son. Now Hoffenheim have the ball again. Comes out to the fullback. Oh, and they play a good ball to the byline, but it's really well played by Bentancur. And then Son plays it to Rishi, who just has to hold this up here. He's going nowhere, Rishi. Just walks out for a throw-in. Really poor. Why can't he just hold it and try and hit it off? Hit it off one of the Hoffenheim players for a Spurs throw. And anyway, Hoffenheim have it back. Go in down the right now. The fullback gets his cross in. Cleared by Ben Davies. Madders tries to use his strength. Hoffenheim win it back very easily again. Jesus, this is absolutely shit from Spurs here. Just letting Hoffenheim pop it about. And inevitably get a cross in at their will. Comes to the fullback again. Here we go. Comes back to the central midfielder. And they're in down the inside right channel. Madders was wrong side, but he gets a foot on it. Now, can Spurs find a break here? Chipped up to Kulusevski from Ben Davies, who lays it back to Porro, who tries a really stupid ball over the top. And in the end, the defender nearly lets Richarlison in, but we need to put our foot on the fucking football for a bit. Porro we don't need paradise balls at this point. Just pop it about. We're winning 2-0. Make them come to us. Like, just keep the ball. Make them come to us. Anyway, here comes the next cross from the left-hand side, presumably. Comes back to the 20, towards the edge of the box. Brings it backwards and across to the right-hand side. No, it comes to the left-hand side again. Mo says midfielders too deep, sitting on our defenders. Totally agree. Lots of space out wide right now. The 23 taking on Archie Gray. Comes inside to the 7. He's going to have a dig. No, turns away. Now he's going to have a dig. Shot blocked, but it comes away out wide. But Son, is it? No, Porro gets his foot on it. And now Decky goes inside. Good ball to Bentancur. Son. Bentancur tries to give it to Son, but cannot keep the football. As they go for the big diag. But Porro gets it to Kulusevski. And Kulusevski's on the half turn now. He's running at them. Hoffenheim. And Kulusevski was pushed over there, but it's not given. None of our players keeping the ball. Shouldn't be getting this annoyed when we're 2-0 up, but Spurs being naive and looking knackered. Sonny especially looking knackered. I'd be bringing Mikey Moore on. Hopefully he'll come on soon. You'd think probably around 60 minutes, if not before. It's really easy for Hoffenheim at the moment. Another cross coming in early. Davis gets his head on it. Clears it straight to a Hoffenheim player. Psycho Fox says, Kulu has shattered Mikey Moore time for me. Not that I have a clue. Another cross comes in. And they're free at the back post. And he hits the bar. Kramaric, is it? And once again, a cross. We don't stop at source. Comes to the back post. Kramaric tries to head it back where it came, and it hits the top of the bar. Hoffenheim putting the high press on. Rishi's got to hold it up, and he does well there. Oh, and he tried to play it to Bergvall, but it goes behind him. That was good from Richarlison. That was the best he's done this half so far. But once again, Hoffenheim coming at us. And Sonny just not even working back now. He's so tired. But now he's in position. At least he's a body. Spurs need to get the next goal somehow, because this might be calamitous if not. JDK117 says, way too passive, fix up Spurs. They just look shattered, don't they? Good ball. Chance. Great block from Ben Davis. Comes back to Hoffenheim. Chance outside the box. Wide. And Mikey Moore is coming on for Richarlison. So now what will happen? Sonny playing in the 9? Not sure about that. Will Kulusevski play as a false 9, I wonder? Rishi put in a good 55 minutes there, though. Worked hard. Let's get the ball into Mikey Moore's feet. Comes to Austin. Lays it out to... And Bergvall's fouled. Didn't think it was, to be honest. Yeah, Rick Kane says bring in Lancashire. I hope Lancashire does get some minutes at some point. We don't have much of a physicality about us, that's for sure. Alan Marshall says get Son and Kulu off. I'm not sure we can. We've only got Lancashire left on the bench of anyone who's played any football for us. So Spurs have a free kick on the right. No one's gone near him. Anyway, he lays it up to Kulusevski's feet, but no one's near him. Plays it to Bentancur. Good ball into Bergvall. We need Bergvall and Maddison to be showing more options to their defenders. Bergvall did it there. And midfielders. Davis into midfield now, into Bentancur. Gives it back to Davis. Not a great ball, but lovely ball from Davis into Son, who is playing in the 9. Lays it out to Maddison. Bit of a heavy ball, but Maddison does well and gives it to Mikey Moore outside him now. Mikey... And the ref's given a free kick off the ball from Kulusevski, and it wasn't. And Mikey Moore just tried to play a good cross with the outside of his boot into the centre to... Anyway. Hoffenheim back on the ball. Need to get Bergvall and Maddison coming for the ball more in midfield when we have it now. Son kind of half-heartedly pressing the centre-back. Hoffenheim popping it about now in midfield. They try the big diag now over Archie Gray's head. And he chooses not to head it back to his keeper there, which he could have done. And so Hoffenheim have it. Maybe he could have chested it back to his keeper. And they're in the inside right channel now, Hoffenheim. But that's a good block from Mikey Moore. Chance for a cross here. And Spurs don't stop the cross. Comes all the way to the back. It's going to be a shot from the outside of the box here. Although he takes a touch, which is kind of a bit mad. I thought he might hit it first time on the edge of the box. Comes to the left-hand side now for Hoffenheim, where they've got men. They've got 4 men around the ball here, and they get to the byline. Another cross chance here for Hoffenheim. But he goes backwards again. Now it'll be a first-time cross that Spurs don't even try and block. Comes to the edge. Madison gets his head on it, but of course comes to a Hoffenheim player again. It's going to be a very long second half if it just stays like this. Chance, blocked from Porro. They've got so many... Spurs just jogging here. What is going on, honestly? Another cross, not attempted to be stopped, and it comes, and Austin claims it on the floor. Yeah, Glenn Hoddle saying you get a horrible feeling from Spurs. You got to say, we've all seen Spurs enough in Europe to see these kind of performances where we just stop working. It's like they've, No, Thanox asked if Spence can come in, but he can't. He's not in the Europa League squad. Brandon Austin just played a horrible ball. Oh, we've just been saved there. That's a foul. That was a foul. The referee... Mikey Moore was fouled there. He should have gone down. He didn't. He tried to stay up, and as a result, we don't get the foul. Alan Marshall says, too painful to watch. And Glenn Hoddle saying how you can smell something coming. It's true. We've seen these games so often. God, my God, are we going to need to get the next goal? Anyway, here they come down the right again. And we've lost the second ball again. We're so slow to the second balls. They're in the box again. Turns Bischoff on the outside of the box. Tries to chip. And Brandon Austin didn't know that that was going wide. He nearly got chipped by Bischoff there. John Giles has leadership on the park missing. Yeah, there is no leadership. And once again, straight away, we've given it away. Dragushin. Deary me. Just what are we doing here? And they know they just press us and we will just give it away to them. And once again, straight away, we've given it away. Why doesn't the midfield come to them short and just keep the fucking football? Yeah, Hoddle saying he doesn't understand why Austin doesn't just take a long goal kick, play it long and let Spurs get out. But no, instead we tried to play it short. We lost it twice. Just playing into Hoffenheim's hands. Hoffenheim just popping it about. Easy, in down the left now. Cross comes in, not stopped, comes straight to Brandon Austin. Just put your foot on it, Austin. No, he rolls it out. And Spurs on the transition now. Has he got bodies with him, Madders? He's driving forward. Oh, and then he plays an awful ball. And Ange Postecoglou is livid. And now Hoffenheim are in behind our midfield. JDK117 says, why are we just strolling around the field? We're not 5-0 up. And they're in the box again. Chance of the back stick. And do you know what? Brandon Austin was brilliant there. And the ref's given a penalty. And he's booked Brandon Austin. Because Brandon Austin went to punch the ball and he's punched the player instead. And now we're in awful trouble here. Well, they won't turn it over. I thought Austin was just really brave there. The cross comes in, deflected. Oh, he got the ball. I think Austin gets the ball. Oh, maybe not. The commentator's saying it would be overturned, but I bet it won't be. I think Austin gets his hand on the ball. It's never, ever a penalty, this. It's completely ridiculous. I've never seen a penalty given for that. No, it's a penalty. And the way Spurs have been playing the second half, we are not going to win this game. I can tell you that. We're not going to win this game. Is it Kramaric? Looks like it is. Austin was booked for that. Complete joke refereeing. And he's been very lenient on Hoffenheim this game. And the ref is now going to the screen. Interesting. And he's suggesting they've stilled it and it looks like Austin gets his hand on it. Yeah, he gets his hand on it first. Yeah, he gets his hand on it first, Austin. It's never, ever a penalty. The ref's desperate to give this. I'm telling you, he's desperate to give it, but he does get his hand on it first, Austin. So the VAR has sent him to the screen, but he's desperate to give it. He gets his hand on it first. It cannot be a penalty. It cannot be a penalty. But the ref is desperate to give it. He's asking for every single possible angle. But he gets his hand on it first. Right, here we go. Coming back now. He's given VAR. No penalty. Finally, the right decision. So no penalty or booking. Well done, Brandon Austin. He was super brave there. And now what we need is this to have given us some time to get some recovery in our legs. And we need to keep the fucking football, guys. Keep the football. Don't try paradise balls. Just move Hoffenheim around. There's some naivety on this pitch. And people in the comments have talked about leadership. Yes, we need leadership. As Ben Davis plays into Ben. And then Bentaker's giving it away again. It's like we're just trying drills every time. Stop doing fucking drills and keep the football. And they're in down the right straight away again. It's bonkers. We're 2-0 up. We nearly just gave away a penalty. And now the same stuff is happening. It's fucking stupid. As a cross comes in again, cleared. This clearance goes to Kulusevski, who goes to Porro. Needs help. Put your foot on it, Porro. Go backwards. But no. Oh my God. Kulusevski tried to play it down the line to Porro. Throw into Spurs. 66 minutes gone, but there'll be a lot of added time after that penalty. Bergvall gives it back to Porro. He plays a nice ball into Kulusevski, but he's got no options. Has to go to Bergvall. And eventually, of course, we just kick it down the line because we've got no threat in the number 9 position. Bring Will Lancashire on. At least he'll get his body in the way. Because Son is no threat at the moment in terms of keeping the ball. Hoffenheim now working down the left-hand side. Spurs just second to everything at the moment. 66 minutes gone. So Hoffenheim just play an easy ball over the top. Not so far this half. Madison, Bergvall, Mikey Mawson to come on have not been in this game. Good press from Kulusevski. Uses his strength really well. Wins the ball up high. Gives it back to Porro, who should go inside to Bentaker, but he doesn't. Just looking for paradise ball into Bergvall. Sonny in a good position. Terrible cross from Son. Oh my God. And now Hoffenheim breaking. And they're in down the left. What is going on, Tottenham? What is going on? They're in down the left again now. Cross comes in. Goal. What the fuck is going on? Embarrassing. Son cutting the ball back when he should be playing it across the front. And then it's literally just one pass. Just so embarrassing. And Archie Gray's too deep, but it's a goal anyway. It's just unbearable watching this shit, honestly. Just fucking see out a game, you pricks. Honestly. This is where Ange gets himself in trouble, because there has to be game management. There has to be game management, and he just tells them, no, do the same thing. What, even when you're knackered, when you got no legs? Just so bad. Porro plays a good ball down the line to Kulusevski, but goes off for a throw-in. I can't see us winning this game. I cannot see us winning this game here. We've been so poor in the second half because they're just doing the same shit, and it looks bad on the manager. I'm sorry, it really does. He has to give them the ability to think on their feet and just pop the ball about. Fucking 2-0 up away from home in the Europa League. You've got 13 injuries. You've got no legs. Pop the ball about. Make Hoffenheim come to you. But still playing paradise balls all the time. So frustrating. Got away with a penalty that had been given. How many chances do you want? Again, I'm going to say it. Maddison, Bergvall, not in this half at all. Bergvall just pressed. Maddison and Bergvall now out of the game. Their press is beaten, and they're in down the left again here now, Hoffenheim, with 20 minutes to go. And every danger right now that Hoffenheim are going to go on and win this game, because Tottenham have not even come out this half. They've been bollocks. And like every single game under Ange Postecoglou since he joined this club, we don't stop crosses at source. We don't mark when crosses come in. Mikey Moore with his first or only second decent touch now, driving at the left, and Kulusevski's gone outside him. Moore gives it to Kulusevski. Moore goes for the second ball down the line, but Kulusevski puts his foot on it. Moore now outside the box. Comes back to Bentancur. Moore and Bentancur now working together. And it's Bentancur trying to put his foot on the ball. Why didn't you do that when we were 2-0 up? Dragishin out wide right. And it's a good crossfield ball from Porro. And Archie Gray controls it beautifully. Needs options. So goes. I wasn't Archie Gray, sorry, it was Mikey Moore. Beautiful. Spurs now popping it about. I'll tell you what the difference is. Hoffenheim have actually dropped off a little bit. Dragishin's touch, fucking horrible. But that would be a throw into Spurs. Hoffenheim have dropped off because they're only one goal behind now. They're thinking, okay, let's not concede the next goal so that we're still in it as the game gets deep. And that has helped Tottenham a little bit, because before that, they were just pushing and pushing and pushing and playing a lot of men forward. And this has enabled Tottenham to pop it about a little bit. But we should have been popping it about a bit more before and getting midfielders closer to players. Porro dives on the floor too easily there and loses the ball. Kramaric, of course, having one of his best games ever. And Son dives on the floor again. The referee not giving us anything at the moment. Good stuff from Bergvall. Didn't go off. Hoffenheim. Oh, good dummy, but Archie Gray gets in the way. This is horrible. God, so horrible. Hoffenheim have 9 absentees tonight as well, by the way. So Spurs have 14 out. Hoffenheim have 9 out. In this second half, we're making them look brilliant. And here they come. Out wide right again. In down the right. But Ben Davies has seen that and kicks it off. Archie Gray with a long-headed clearance. He'll have another chance to head it clear. Goes straight to a Hoffenheim player. Every second ball being won by Hoffenheim players because Spurs are just so leggy. And it comes out wide left again. Another cross is about to come in. Here it comes. And this one straight down the throat of Brandon Austin. And he puts his hands on this now. Looks like he wants to slow it down a bit, which I don't mind. Yeah, Glenn Hoddle just saying how easy it is for Hoffenheim to get overloads out wide this half. And a good ball there from Austin into Bentancur. Gives it to Archie Gray. Spurs midfield, just so far away from their defenders. As Dragoshin just plays a horrible ball up to Bergvall, who deals with it well, and he's now driving. He's driving down the line. Great stuff from Bergvall. Brilliant. All the way, but no one's got into the box yet. So he has to turn away. Needs an option. Does. Finds it. Early cross from Porro. It's a decent ball. Comes to Son. Oh, but it's cleared. Poor control from Son. And the Spurs fans trying to get behind their team. Gray with a throw in here. No movement from Tottenham whatsoever. Maddison. Gray trying a step over, and they'll probably end up fouling them there. No, but the ref doesn't give it, and I'm pleased with that. Maddison takes the throw early into Kulusevski. He's in the box. Rolls his man beautifully. Can he find someone? In the end, Kulusevski wins a corner somehow. But why is he going down the line there, Kulusevski? He needs to cut it back into the box. He rolled his man on the byline. Yeah, it's a corner just about. Or maybe it never went out, but Spurs have got a corner when maybe they shouldn't have done. Anyway, at the moment, we can just thank Hoffenheim for stepping off Spurs a little bit here. 15 minutes to go. Sonny's going to whip in this corner. See if he can do better than first half when he just totally ignored what the team were doing. Kulusevski getting head-to-head with one of their players here. It's a bit unnecessary. Bergvall comes in to be the peacemaker. Okay, here comes the corner. Son's going to whip it in. Oh, it's just over the first man. Well cleared by Hoffenheim now. Kulusevski coming to get it. He needs help here, Decky. Porro runs away from him. That's good from Porro. So Decky just dinks it into the box and straight into the keeper's arms. Jesus Christ. And now they go for a long one over the head of Spurs, and Hoffenheim can't keep it in. So that's a throw into Spurs just in their own box. This is another stressful game to watch with Tottenham. Porro with the throw in here. Porro throws it to Maddison, gives it back to Porro, who does a good ball, plays a good ball to Ben Davis, who goes out wide left to Mikey Moore, who's getting some space here now. And he drives into a gap. Good stuff from Moore, but he can't keep the ball. He's still working, Mikey. Good press from him. It's a shame. He saw a good gap there, but he couldn't keep it under control. He is quite raw at times, Mikey. But he hasn't had many touches, so Bergvall comes across right left to cover Moore's position as Hoffenheim pop it about down the middle. But they play a terrible ball, and Bentancur's just picked it up and gives it into Moore. And Sonny's outside him, and this is a good chance for Sonny to drive into the box here. Step over. Doesn't get out. Brilliant goal, Son Heung-min. Brilliant fucking goal. Exactly what we needed. The step over into the inside left, and he had to find the far corner, and he does. And my God, did Spurs need that. Terrible ball out from Hoffenheim, straight down the middle. Bentancur picks it up, lays it into Mikey Moore, who then gets it to Son. Terrible pass. Bentancur picks it up, gives it into Moore. It nearly gets away from him, but he lays it early to Son. And Son is driving into a perfect position. Step over onto his left, get caught under his feet, but a beautiful finish. Step over, left foot finish. And now, Spurs, put your fucking foot on the fucking football, because you know that Hoffenheim are going to come at us hard again now. Hopefully they don't have the legs to do it again, but we need to put our foot on the bloody ball. They've basically given us that goal. It's a brilliant finish from Son, but they gave us the pass. Another assist from Mikey Moore. It's good for him. And they've made a couple of changes here, Hoffenheim, bringing some fresh legs on. I would be tempted to bring Will Lancashire on for some legs for Spurs as well. Sonny, of course, on a hat-trick. That would be really good for his confidence if that could happen. Been so depressed with his second half performance, but that was a vital moment for Sonny. And he's coming off now, Sonny. Well done. It must be Lancashire coming on. And if I'm Ange, I'm just saying to Will Lancashire, run about. Just run about, press them, run, put them under pressure. Don't let them play easy balls out of their back line. Such a young team on the pitch now. James Maddison gets the ball and finds Kulusevski. Good stuff from Madders. Lancashire making a good run down the channel for Kulusevski here on the right. So it enables, and Madders is in. Oh, and the ball was too heavy to Madders. But that was good from Madders, who seems to have had a bit of an energy lift from that goal. And Bentancur the same as he presses Hoffenheim all the way up and their keeper's forced to sky it. Mikey Moore uses his strength well, keeps the ball on. Oh, I thought he did keep it on, but he's given a foul against Mikey Moore. Don't forget, guys, after this game, I'll be doing an instant post-match reaction, and then there will be the post-match fan show. People calling in, Spurs fans calling in to speak to me from around the world. And then at about 8:45, there will be the Spurs Chat podcast. Okay, we're into the 80th minute. Spurs seem to have had a little bit of an energy boost from that third goal. And hopefully we can just play the right kind of football to see this out or get another goal. Porro with the throw-in on the right. Make sure you press like on this video, guys, if you haven't already. 3,000 of you watching. A good ball. Maddison gets an early ball out to Mikey Moore here. Driving at the penalty box. Oh, a lovely ball into Kulusevski, and it's cleared for a corner. Spurs playing better now. So far, guys, this shirt doing us some good things. Superstition. Anyway, yeah, 3,000 of you watching, guys. Please do press like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to Chris Cowlin's YouTube channel at Chris Cowlin. And also, if you like the cut of this watch along and my stuff, I bring daily transfer videos during this window on my channel at Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube. Come and give me a subscribe. I'm getting close to 15,000 subscribers, guys. So come and help me get there. I'm building a lovely community there of Spurs fans and lots of transfer talk still. Hopefully Spurs will get a winner. Here comes the corner. Comes to the near post. It's a poor corner for Madders, realistically. Oh, Kulusevski's touch is magnificent. Gets an early cross in there to the near post, but it's cleared. And Hoffenheim pick up the clearance, and Madders gives away a foul there. Not a huge surprise. Hoffenheim go early over the top of Lancashire. It uses his strength beautifully, Will Lancashire. Good lad. In the inside right channel now, needs help. So he gives it to Decky, who gives it to Bergvall. That was brilliant from Lancashire. The ball comes out to Mikey Moore. Twinkle toes. Being pushed back, so turns well. Gives a good inside ball to Madders. Dragoshin now goes out wide to Porro and gets it straight back from Dragoshin. And this is better from Spurs, kind of moving Hoffenheim about a lot more cleverly than before when they weren't. Oh, but there Archie Gray loses it, but Madders does well. Little trick there. And a great ball in the inside channel to Will Lancashire. Great running from Lancashire. He runs the channels really well, the kid. Gives it back to Madders, who gives it into Mikey Moore. His first touch is heavy, but draws the man out. And Madders gives it back to him. Spurs just keeping the ball here. Oh, Madders loses it, but picked up by Mikey Moore, who goes back to Archie Gray. Dragichin goes back to Davis, to Archie Gray. Mikey Moore comes inside, sees a big gap, and plays a beautiful ball across to Pedro Porro. Lovely touch from Mikey Moore. And Porro, Spurs just trying to keep the ball now. Something we should have been doing all half. Oh, and then Porro plays a bad ball into Bergvall. 84th minute we're in now. Been impressed with Lancashire's channel running. Hoffenheim now have the ball. They play a ball over the top. Ben Davis gives it straight to Bentancur, who puts his foot on the ball. And Bergvall now goes to Madison, who's got loads of space. Moore's outside him, tempting the defender to think he's going down the line, but goes back to Archie Gray, who goes across to Ben Davis, who will go across again to Dragichin. And Hoffenheim have lost their legs a little bit here. Spurs just moving them about. Pedro Porro plays a good ball inside to Bentancur, who goes inside to Kulusevski. Sorry, outside to Kulusevski. Tries the dinked ball into Madison, whose first touch is good. And he lays it out across to Archie Gray on the left. And Hoffenheim have pressed, so there's a lot of space now out for Mikey Moore. And Archie Gray was tempted to go outside him, but he didn't. Mikey Moore drives at his man. Wanted a foul, but doesn't get it as the defender got a little touch on the ball. And Hoffenheim get the ball back. Hoffenheim now coming through central midfield. Fifth minute now. Hoffenheim getting close to the Spurs box. Spurs keeping them at arm's length. But it's going to come across the right-hand side now, and they're going to try and get another cross in, I would have thought, from deep. Yeah, they try and dink it over to the top. Ben Davis gets his first ball on it. Bentancur takes it on the turn and goes to Kulusevski out wide right, who won't have the pace for this, but he holds it up. And he loses it, does he? No, he doesn't. He turns away. And Lancashire's made a run for him. A terrible ball from Kulu, from Decky. Ball over the top. But Brandon Austin, it comes through to Brandon Austin. Just rolls it out to Ben Davis, who goes back to Austin, who's being pressed. So he just dinks it into central midfield up to Lancashire, who is a threat there. Tries to head it back to Bergvall. He's definitely more threat there, though, isn't he, than Son? But Spurs have lost it in central midfield there. Hoffenheim now have it. Play it out wide to the left, and Decky's got to follow his man there, but it comes to the right now. Oh, and they get lucky there, Kramaric. Great tackle from Ben Davis, though, and it's picked up by Madders, who out to Decky Kulusevski's got loads of space. Lancashire's miles away from him, though. Needs to help him, really. There's Spurs players getting forward, but no one is anywhere near Kulusevski. So he has to go backwards. Surprised Lancashire didn't make a break to get near him there. But brilliant tackle from Ben Davis. Spurs playing it through midfield now with Bentancur to Madison. Tottenham about to make some more subs, so there'll be some young players coming on here we've not seen, I would have thought, at least one. Madison, Hoffenheim have kind of stopped working now, I think it's fair to say. Madison plays it into Lancashire's feet, tries to take it on the half turn, but it was Mikey Moore actually, and that was telegraphed. He somehow looks tired, Mikey Moore, and maybe that's because he's been ill for so long. He's only been on for about 25 minutes. Glenn Hoddle trying to jinx us by saying Spurs should see this out. Hoffenheim down the right-hand side now, getting bodies forward. Another chance for a free cross in the box here. Comes to the back post, and they've scored. What are we doing? Can I just say how laughable it is that Tottenham just... How many times this season do I have to say Tottenham just let the cross come in? They don't try and stop the cross, and it goes to the back post, and he heads it in. I've said this about Ange Postecoglou so many times. We just keep conceding the same fucking goal. And it's embarrassing for the manager. And I'm sorry, it's not good enough. And that is why I think Ange Postecoglou will end up losing his job, because of the injuries and because we concede the same goal time and time again. The same goal time and time again. I've been saying it for 18 months. And now Maddison's coming off. He's not happy about it. He gets a high five. But it's Oluseyi who comes on. But I'm sorry. Why do we not stop crosses? And why do we not mark at the fucking back post? It's wrong with the system. Oluseyi now takes a good first touch. He's driving. Finds Lancashire, who could have laid it back to him. And Lancashire's knocked off the ball, and now Hoffenheim have it. Oh, great press from Pedro Porro, though. So we're into the 89th minute now. And Lucas Bergvall's up the pitch, but kicks it off. And Porro's stayed down because he thinks it was a foul, but it's not given. I'm begging you, I don't think anyone will be watching, but any of those journalists who get to interview Ange Postecoglou before every game, and another Spurs player goes down, it's not given. Any of those journalists, why don't you ask him, Ange, why do Tottenham concede the same goal over and over again? A cross that isn't stopped at source, followed by a back post finish. Like, it's embarrassing to the club. It's embarrassing to Ange Postecoglou's management. Is he going to blame the injuries for that? The fact, even when we've got our first team out, there are 5 added minutes here. I'm sorry, but I think we know what's going to happen, don't we? Hoffenheim now have energy. Spurs have just kids on the pitch. And they're just sitting back again, Spurs now, letting Hoffenheim come, who have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the front line, Hoffenheim. Get it out wide left, and a cross will come in, of course. Here it comes, in the air. And there's no one free, and the man was free at the back post. And we're just lucky he didn't have the technique to get it back across the box. Am I mental? Is it just me saying this week after week after week? It's just embarrassing. It is embarrassing. And it happens every time because analysts watch Spurs and like, oh, well, they don't stop crosses and they don't mark their back post. So just keep doing it. You'll score. They've conceded 2 like that in this game. And nearly gave away a penalty from it. Austin goes long with the kick. Bergvall tries to win it, but Hoffenheim win the second one. Porro gets a header on it. Bentancur gets a flick. Kulusevski is playing so high right now. And so he's getting caught ahead of the ball. So is Mikey Moore. We're literally hanging on, you fuckards. Porro with an important header. Jesus Christ. Hoffenheim on the ball now. Just piling everyone forward. We know what's going to happen here. It's just whether the clock will save us. Here comes their next cross into the box. To the back stick. Another free header. He had a free header. He tried to lay it back. It's going to be a shot from outside the box. So he does well. They've got so many men forward. Why is Lancashire not in the box helping us out? Cross comes in again. Ben Davies gets his head on it. First ball run by Hoffenheim again. It's so embarrassing being a supporter of this football club. Archie Gray does brilliantly, and then his touch is heavy. And then does well, though. Oluseyi now. Does he find a good ball? No, he doesn't. Lancashire doesn't come towards him. Lancashire's not even trying. He's only been on the pitch 5 minutes. Come and help your backline. Bergvall's not in the box. Another cross comes in the box. And it's a bad ball. And Oluseyi can't get there. Looks like he's knackered. He's only been on the pitch 1 minute. He's absolutely blowing. And they're in down the right. And no one's stopping this cross. And here it comes. Blocked by Archie Gray. It's going to be a corner. And I'm sure they'll send the keeper up here, will they? So here comes the set piece. We've got 1 minute, 3/4 to hold out here. It's an outswinger. Here it comes. Hits the first man. And then a secondary kick on it from Mikey Moore. And actually it comes to Decky, but his touch is terrible. He could have just... Jesus. Oh, and he's missed the second one as well. Clearance from Jagishin, and Hoffenheim will have the ball. But the header goes backwards, and it's Lancashire in, is he? Can't hold it up. Just take it to the corner, Will. Take it to the corner. Take it to the corner, Decky. Take it to the corner. Take it to the fucking corner. There's 1 minute 15 left. Take it to the corner. He is taking it to the corner. Good lad, Decky Kulusevski. And that should be a corner. The Lino's given a goal kick. But at least Decky took it to the corner. "55 seconds left. Hoffenheim take it short to their fullback. Or it might be their centre back. But then they find an easy second pass. And now they're just going to hit it long. The big diag. He hits it off the pitch, thank fuck. Terrible ball from the centre back. And Spurs, if they're smart, will just keep the football. But they're not smart. But if they can, they just keep the football here. And maybe find a way to win this game. When we've done everything we possibly can to try and not to. Another 5 goals in a Spurs game. Just joke club at the moment. Lancashire does well, just flicks it down the line. But now he needs to work hard. He's blowing out of his arsehole, Lancashire. Bergvall, though, he puts the press on the keeper. Good lad. The keeper's forced to go long. Can we win the first header? Yes, Bentancur wins it. And Bergvall is offside. He knows he is. So, and then he gets involved. Goes back to the keeper. That should be the end. It's 5 minutes done now of added time. They go long. That's the end of the game. And the Spurs players drop to their knees. It's finished. Hoffenheim 2. Tottenham Hotspur 3. And as a result, we have a good chance now, I'd say, of getting into that top 8 of that Europa League group, which does mean we would have to miss, we would get to miss a playoff leg. But I'll be honest, guys, that was like pulling teeth at times. Absolutely like pulling teeth. I mean, Tottenham have a lot of injuries, of course we do, but dearie me. I'll get into my match reaction in a minute, guys. Hello, everyone. This is my instant match reaction to the Hoffenheim 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3 Europa League game. The match has just finished, and as the final whistle went, some of the Spurs players went out down on their feet. And even though this is the early game, so other games will change things, Tottenham have gone up to 4th place in the Europa League standings on 14 points with a +5 goal difference. So that is the good news. The bad news is that Tottenham, having found a way to be 2-0 up at half-time, even though we were still giving away a number of chances, in the second half, just never came out of the blocks. And of course they're knackered. Of course they are. There are excuses to be had, but they were knackered and naive. Naive. When you are 2-0 up away from home against a team lacking in confidence, you keep the football. If you want to play it short out from the back, fine. The opposition are going to press you. So as your midfielders, don't go high and wide and make it difficult for the team to find you. Don't make it impossible for Brandon Austin, the keeper is only playing his second game, to find you with a mid-range ball. Come short for it, Bergvall. Come short for it, Maddison. Make it hard. Come short and give it back and get it again and give it back. And we didn't. And we kept losing the ball. And in that second half, we let Hoffenheim get all over us and get confidence. And then we gave away a penalty that was thankfully overturned from VAR. It was Brandon Austin, who I have to say I thought had a good game. Brandon Austin, really good game. But what we continued to do, and anyone who's watched this or watched me over and over this season and last season, Ange Postecoglou, the two things that I think are going to end his management at Tottenham Hotspur, get him the sack eventually, whenever it happens, will be the fact that, number one, we get so many injuries, and I don't think it can be coincidence that we've had so many hamstring injuries. There's something to do with with him and the way that the training goes and the relentlessness of the play on and off the pitch, on and off the training pitch and on and off the match pitch. But the second one is the Ange ball, or the style of play, doesn't ask our players to ever stop crosses at source, to ever block crosses at the source where the cross is coming from. Nobody ever busts a gut to stop the cross coming in. And in that whole game, but especially the second half, time and time and time and time again, our defenders and our midfielders just watched as they got crosses in. And 2 of the goals we conceded were from crosses that came in. And the second part of it is we never defend our back post, ever. And what's mad about it to me is Ange ball going forward is all about us getting to the byline and crossing it into the back post. So it's mad to me to think that the manager doesn't think it's important to defend our back post. And I'm sorry to be negative when we've won a game and we've put ourselves in a really good position to stay in this cup competition and miss a 2-legged playoff. But that second half was like pulling teeth. It was like unbearable to watch, and it was embarrassing at times. And yes, caveats, we had such a young team on the pitch. I know we did. But it's embarrassing to watch a team where the analysts of the opposition have just been able to say, well, look, Tottenham just concede this goal time and time again, so just do the same. Just double up on the outside, get crosses in, and we won't defend the back post, and you can have free headers. Tell me in the comments if I'm going mad. Am I the only person seeing this? How can Ange Postecoglou, who's on millions of pounds a year, not change things, not tweak things? And he is tweaking things in terms of our style of play. Tonight, because we had no legs, we just played backs to the wall stuff and breakaway. We played Conte ball. And you know, I don't mind that. I just wish we'd have passed the ball around a bit more and had more options in midfield, getting the ball off the back line because we're giving away the ball too much. But the tweaks that I need from him are for us not to concede the same goal time and time again. It's the definition of madness, of insanity. Conceding the same thing over and over again, thinking it's going to improve. So frustrating. I don't know if I've ever been so frustrated at a victory. I'll take you through briefly what happened in the game. Second minute of the game, beautiful outside of the boot cross from Richarlison. Nearly got to Deki Kulusevski. I think Richarlison tried his hardest today. He looked raw, but he will give us more in the number 9 position. That's for sure. He was getting his body in the way and trying to hold it up. Third minute was the first goal. Beautiful ball from Pedro Porro, who again had to play 90 minutes. Poor guy, absolutely knackered, but what a deliverer of a ball he is. And a lot of you who complain about how often Porro loses the ball, it's because he's trying things. He's constantly trying things. And this ball that he played with a bit of fade on it, just bending away and over the top of the defense to a beautiful late run from James Maddison over the top, whose first touch was magnificent and his second touch absolutely roofing it. Beautiful goal from Spurs. 7th minute, Hoffenheim were in after a poor ball from Rodrigo Bentancur, but I will say Bentancur was brilliant tonight and we need him to stay fit. He did play a poor ball in the 7th minute and a good shot was blocked by Dragostin, but overall Bentancur was in good positions, clearing up from bad touches from Spurs players around our own box and from Hoffenheim players, and he was good and we need him big time. We need him. And I think we probably need to play that double pivot with him and Bissouma a bit more going forward because we need players who are going to come towards the ball and keep the football for Spurs. 8th minute, good break from Spurs, got us into the box, but we couldn't get a shot off. 9th minute, and made another note, great positioning and showing from Bentancur so far. Maddison smartly got their player booked in the 9th minute with a good turn on the transition. 11th minute, Richarlison got in behind in the inside right channel. Good first time shot. Probably took it too early and the rebound didn't fall to Spurs. 13th minute, brilliant football from Tottenham Hotspur. Outside to inside run from Sonny. Came from the outside, keeping his boots chalky on the outside touchline. Made that inside run. And then he found Porro, who was in centrally. Tried to finish it into the bottom left-hand corner. Or bottom right-hand corner as he looks at it, but it went just wide. 15th minute, brilliant ball from Davis to Son, who was in, but after coming inside, he hit it over the bar. It was very unlike him, and at that moment, we thought, oh, Son's still in bad form, but 2 goals to come from him. And the first one, the 21st minute, Madders took advantage of some bad communication in midfield from the 2 defenders from Hoffenheim. He was through, but didn't have the pace, so laid it into Son. Took a while for the ball to come down, but his left foot shot deflected over the keeper. And that was great stuff. 2-0 Spurs. And at that point, we should be absolutely just casually seeing our way into halftime and seeing our way into a victory by just keeping the ball. But we didn't. 24th minute, great shot blocked from Archie Gray. 26th minute, and chance again for Hoffenheim. 8 yards out. Gray did enough again to stop a good shot. Good break from the 27th minute from Spurs. Kulusevski down the right. Sadly, his weight of pass just wasn't perfect for Maddison, and the defender got in, tackled. Great, unbelievable save from Brandon Austin, 32nd minute, down to his right. Came through bodies from only about 12, 13 yards out, and the ball broke to their player in the box. Good shot on it, but great save. And he dived on the rebound. Brilliant stuff from Austin in only his second chance, his second start for Tottenham Hotspur, 36th minute, Porro saved Spurs after some diabolical defending, left Hoffenheim 2 against 1, right in the middle of the goal, in the box, only 12 yards out. Porro made the right decision, went to the ball, and it was a corner. Austin then punched that corner out with some good assertiveness. 39th minute, Hoffenheim had another chance after a shot was blocked, and then Gray did enough again to stop a good connection getting on the shot, and it was saved by Austin. 43rd minute, probably our best football of the whole game. Beautiful, patient stuff in our own half, what we should have been doing the whole time. Then 2 amazing back heels, both from Kulusevski and from Bergvall, got us in down the right, but Richarlison's final ball didn't find Maddison, unfortunately. 45th minute, should have been 3, a huge chance for Bergvall from a Maddison free kick. He's only 6 yards out, 5 yards out, tries to get the header on it, but shoulders it, unfortunately. And then terrible defending from Spurs in added time as the ball broke 12 yards out, but the shot was blocked from Dragishin. So 2-0 at half-time. Then just the first 15 minutes of the second half was just all Hoffenheim. We're terrible. 49th minute, in capital letters, I've just written, why do we never try to stop crosses at source? And this was before they've even scored from it. 50th minute, poor ball from Son, losing the ball after Bentancur find him in a good position in midfield. 54th minute, Spurs so poor this half. Free header, Kramaric. Easy cross to back stick again. 55th minute, shot from Hoffenheim wide after a great block from Davis. More came on for Richarlison at this point. 58th minute, made another note. Spurs so passive. 59th minute, Bischoff nearly chips Austin, but just wide. 61st minute, I've made a note. Spurs refusing to put their foot on the ball. Naivety. Then the penalty, 62nd minute. Austin bravely came to punch or get a hand on a cross and made contact with the player, given as a penalty. And then eventually the referee sent for a VAR check. And in slow motion, you can see that Austin just got his hand on the ball first. He was brave and it saved him. And well done, Austin. 67th minute, I've put in capitals, embarrassing from Spurs, caught high up the pitch after a terrible cross from Son, and Hoffenheim broken through so easily, in down the left, cross comes in easily, goal at the near post. Another cross that got in from the byline, not stopped, goal. That's 2-1. 73rd minute, poor control from Son in the box after a great driving run from Bergvall down the right. 76th minute, made it 3. Brilliant finish from Son. Bentancur picked up the bad ball down the center of the pitch from Hoffenheim. He found Mikey Moy, slipped it to Son, and then it was classic Son. Step over to beat the man onto his left side, bottom right-hand corner, bang. And at that point, Hoffenheim had lost their legs, and Spurs could have just seen it out easily. Son came off, Lancashire came on. 79th minute, heavy through ball from Kulusevski, didn't quite find Matters. At this point, it was going to be 3-1, easy. Great strength from Lancashire to win the ball back in the 82nd minute, and his running in the inside right and the inside left channels was good, but he still looks very raw. 86th minute, great tackle from Ben Davis, stopped an attack for them. But then, 87th minute, after earlier in the game, Kramaric had a free header at the back stick where he heads it against the bar, which I didn't mention a few minutes earlier. And then 87th minute, cross not stopped, back stick header, back where it came from. Same goal being conceded from Spurs over and over and over again. In the 5 added minutes, I've just written in capitals, endless crosses we're not trying to stop. Deki Kulusevski wasted some time running the ball into the corner, and we found a way to win. And that's the important thing. And I'm sorry for the negativity, I am. But the reality is, we're playing Leicester at the weekend, and they will have watched this like all of the other games, and they'll just say, get crosses into the back post. You will score at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it will be another basketball game. And can Spurs outscore the opposition? I'll say it again. I love Ange Postecoglou. I love his man management. I love what he says in the press. He's a proper bloke. I love him. But this is not elite level coaching. This conceding of the same goal over and over again is not elite level coaching. And for that, I fear for him. I fear for him. I fear the game against Leicester. Hopefully we can find a way to get a win. Then Elfsborg at home next week and find a way to get a win. Get in that top 8. And then that will be the beginning of February and we get some of our players back. Van der Ven and Romero, hopefully. And then we go into that Liverpool second leg. All right, guys, that has been my instant match reaction. Sorry for the negativity again, but like I said, just watching that game, such naivety. And yes, very young team, especially at the end. And this will bode well for a lot of those young players in the long term. A lot of them had good games, but a very, very frustrating one. Please make sure you press that like button. Do press subscribe. And appreciate your support, guys. Thanks a lot. Welcome to the fan show. I will be talking to a number of Spurs fans from around the world, and we will be discussing that Hoffenheim 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3 game, which, I'll be asking them many questions about how they felt about it. But for me, just a very fortunate victory for Tottenham Hotspur. And listen, I guess the victory was the important thing, but wow, really, really frustrating as far as I'm concerned. Just the way that we conceded so many chances of the same ilk, of the same kind of goals that we've been conceding time and time again this season. I'm just going to ask Reza, who is in the stage, is your camera working, Reza? Because if so, I'll come to you soon. If not, I will come to you further down the line. The goals were scored, of course, 2 by Sonny and 1 from James Maddison, an absolutely brilliant goal for the first one. But the important thing about this game, this part of the show is that I will be talking to Spurs fans from around the world. So I'm going to get started with, let me see who have I got here. I'm going to get started with Matt.
Hey, how you doing, Barnaby?
Thank you so much, mate, for coming on. Tell me, mate, what did you make? Where are you today, Matt?
Well, I'm in my basement right now, but I'm in New Jersey, in Waldwick, New Jersey. I'm working from home today, so
Okay,
just be very quiet about that.
What did you, how did you feel watching that game? What did you make of it overall?
I think in your synopsis, in the previous synopsis, you mentioned something about a basketball game. I think that is a very good way to describe Spurs at times. There were times today during this match where we did have full control, and you could see that all we needed to do was just turn it up a gear, and we could pick them apart, and then we would drop back, and then we would invite the pressure. So it doesn't make sense to me why we constantly do that, but in almost the same vein, I do understand because these players are completely knackered. I mean, they're dying. You could see them. You could see them actively thinking about when to conserve their energy, about when they should be pressing, when they should not be pressing, and it's a lot of emotions came and went during that match. So, but the important thing is, like you said, is we got the 3 points. I think the young players could learn from that. I think, it was like one of those backs to the wall performances, which I think could be beneficial for a squad, especially a squad that's been under a lot of pressure lately from the media, from a lot of critics, I just think I see the positive signs of it, the positive side of it, but at the same time, I'd be blind to be able to watch that performance and not see the negatives.
Listen, obviously you've heard me both probably during the watch along and in my post-match reaction talking about how frustrating I find it that we are conceding the same goal again and again. Am I just going mad? Am I the only one seeing this? Or is that just the thing that is most naive about this Tottenham team, injuries or no injuries at the moment?
That is definitely a flashpoint. We have seen that goal come numerous times, especially directly at Pedro Porro earlier this year. I think we saw a few coming from the opposite direction, and they would target Destiny. I think that might be part of the way the defensive structure is, especially when they're trying to dig deep, when they're defending deep, that the fullbacks and the center backs, they don't have that space anymore. And now they're right up on each other, which allows for that additional run completely unchecked, which then gives them all the time in the world to check, to pick out their player in the far post. I'm not going to disagree with you right there. It's very frustrating. I mean, it's again, I hope that it just comes down to we're exhausted. We don't have like our first choice, but you see a lot of the same things. So hopefully, maybe it's just Poro. Maybe he just really is a wing back. You know, when we bought him from
he needs help. He needs help. Any fullback needs help from the person outside them. And we don't need, when Kulusevski plays, when Brennan Johnson especially plays on the other side, we don't help our fullbacks enough. And I've just put on the screen there, Eddie saying in the comments, focusing on the wrong thing, Barnaby. And maybe, this is where it's important for me to say, of course we have so many injuries and we had 5 teenagers on the pitch at the end there. And these are all important caveats. But my fear is it's actually been 18 months where we've still been conceding those goals for 18 months when we've had our best players on the pitch and when we haven't. And I don't want to be negative anymore because I was negative in that post-match reaction. And look, we have won the game. Now let's talk kind of more positively about this Europa League thing now. If we get a result, a win, I think, or a draw against Elfsborg, we will miss that playoff round. Mm-hmm. Do you think now we have what it takes potentially to go on a proper run in this competition?
Provided we do show up next week against Elversberg. I believe they're in the bottom 4 or bottom 6. I believe they were speaking about it during the match today. With this win, I think they said it takes us up to 4th, which puts us in a great position. And we don't want to go through that February like death match where we have an additional 2 games. I mean, we got big matches coming up left, right, and center. February corresponds with, like you were saying, with when our players come back again. It is very disheartening, though. I just want to state that it's very disheartening that Ange again has said the same story, which the previous manager has said, which the previous manager has said, which the previous manager has said. Oh, it's very difficult, but the club is working very hard to bring in players. I mean, this is where we're desperate for players. Just it's very disheartening to see that we're basically kind of just saying, well, we'll see how it works out. And look, you got to win. I guarantee they'll be like, well, we don't really need to put any investment in the team right now. It's pretty sad right now.
It can be. Just a good thanks for the super chat there, Philly Hotspur. Another 10 out of 10 Barnaby Watchalong. Cheers. I appreciate that. So just before I let you go, mate, obviously Leicester at the weekend. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling about that one? Is this an opportunity for Spurs to go 3 wins in a row, Leicester then Elfsborg, and it would be what, 4 out of 5 if you take away the Everton game? Didn't we get a win before that? Am I being mental? Yeah, just about with Tamworth, didn't we?
We got one with Tamworth and we got the Liverpool one. So, I mean, if we get 3, if we get against Leicester and we put in a good performance and then we go against Elversberg, if you look at a certain way, we've won, 5 out of 7? So it's not really a bad way to look at it. But I do think for this weekend, Leicester is going to look at the way that Hoffenheim were just spamming crosses at the end. They're probably going to try to pull the team apart and get those deep crosses in. I mean, hopefully we just respect Leicester and realize that they are a Premier League team for a reason and attack them, pay them respect, but at the same time, just rip them to shreds. We have seen this Leicester team concede goals at a pretty frightening pace, even worse than our pace at times. But I think that we should be able to get at them. I'd like to see a start for Mikey Moore, but Sonny scores 2 goals. How do you drop him? I mean,
no, I don't think he can drop.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm positive about this weekend. I think we definitely could get all 3 points, and I think we could continue the good run into Elversberg, and then who knows? Then it's a completely different narrative. And by some miracle, Barnaby, we bring in a player or 2.
Let's hope so. Listen, Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it, and hopefully speak to you soon. Cheers, mate.
All right, take care.
Cheers, mate. Okay, let's next go to I've got the wrong person. Sorry, G. I will come to you later. Don't worry, I will come to you later, G. You weren't there, but actually I'm going to go to Reza, who is in South Africa. Reza, can you hear me, mate? How are you feeling after that game?
Good evening, Barnaby. I'm okay. I'm okay. The positives to take away after the game was we won, right? We got a result, but our performance was pathetic, right? I tell you what, we don't have a leader at the back.
No.
someone who controls the game, someone who calls the shots at the back, someone who settles the back three or back four. No one. We don't have a person or a player who even controls it. Even when we're playing with our famous back to Romero and Van de Ven, there's no one who controls it and calls the shots. Someone should be really the boss man at the back, right? And also, this game is about intelligence.
Yeah.
Right? We're lacking a lot of intelligence at the back and the midfield. Believe you me. And the midfield, we gave the ball away lots of times. I was counting. I think Kulu gave the ball away 4 or 5 times in good spaces and in good positions. And our 50-50 challenges were not there up in the air. I'm sure you picked that out. We were just standing and watching them go up in the air, put it to where they want, and that was pathetic, man.
We don't really have any physicality. I mean, I guess Bentancur is a little bit physical, and Richarlison was a bit physical, but and obviously Dragusin. But apart from that, there is a lack of physicality, and that's what worries me actually with some of the names that are being talked about in the transfer windows to players we're trying to get. We're being linked with quite a lot of kind of quite diminutive small players, and I think what we need are players who can play handball, very good technically, but are also more physical, because any successful side in the Premier League, I think you'll mostly see it has a very strong physical spine who can also play good football with their feet. And at the moment, we're a little lightweight, in my opinion.
Agree. Barnaby, to play the handball style, you need strength, you need skill, and you need speed. Those are the 3 things that fits in the puzzle for Ange. And he doesn't have those players with those attributes. Okay, so that's where we're lacking. And I'll say it again, that when Sonny was in the park, we play with 10 players. Sonny had his days. His race, his run. Believe you me, his race is run. It's time we need to find a replacement. It's time we need to find a replacement. Really.
What I would say about Sonny is I wouldn't go so as far as that, but what I'd say about him is, it was great to see him, especially with that second finish today, where that was kind of almost like a trademark Sonny finish. But what clearly needs to happen for me is Sonny needs to be rested more, so that then he has fresh legs when he can come on against tired defenses and can get into those positions where he finishes. There are just far too many times where he loses the ball when we need our players in that final third to keep it, so that we can bring our players up the pitch. But without Solanke on the pitch, we're really struggling to keep it in that final third again, which is something that we were struggling with so much last season as well.
I think we're going to battle against Leicester. I'm happy that Davis is playing very well at the back.
Yeah, gives us
Davis
great
is
balance.
Playing well, you know what? Yeah, he gives us balance. But Dragusin, to me, when he's under pressure, when those balls coming up in the air and the striker is tight against him, Dragusin is not someone you can rely on. Really, that's why he's been sitting on the bench when we had a fit Van de Ven, right? But I asked myself the question: why wasn't Spence registered to play in Euros? They thought he wasn't good enough, but Spence is about the best defender we have in all positions, from right back to central defenders to left back. Spence will outdo everyone beside Van de Ven with speed. Right?
Yeah,
why did they overlook him and they got an extra goalkeeper in?
Yeah, I've said my piece about Jed Spence a few times on my channel, which is I feel like with Jed Spence, it must be that he's quite a kind of laid back trainer. I think he must be, because that's why I guess Conte wouldn't play him and why Ange didn't like the cut of his jib early on. But just because you're a laid back trainer doesn't mean that when you get on the pitch, and there are lots of people, Eden Hazard is a great example, right? Lots of his players who played with Eden Hazard for years said he was the worst trainer they'd ever played with, right? But then you get him on a match day and he tries things and he's brilliant. And I think Jed Spence is kind of similar. He's been one of our best players this season. And you know what? I'm in a weird way, I'm quite happy he got a little rest tonight now that we got a victory, because he'll be back and in good shape at the weekend.
Yeah. You think we're going to get anyone coming through the transfer window?
I think we have to.
Believe that?
I think we have to, because I genuinely think if he doesn't find a way to buy anyone this transfer window, there will be riots. Like I'm exaggerating, but there will be the noise, the anti-Levy noise will be so loud at the stadium and on social media. You know, what Johan Langer, the sporting director, would be asked to come and give an interview where he has to say, "Oh, sorry, we weren't able to get any players over the line who were exactly what we were looking for." I'm sorry, there'd be riots, I think.
Barnaby, who do you think needs to go?
I don't think anyone goes at the moment.
Levy?
We can't afford to get rid of
No,
anyone.
no. I haven't finished yet.
Oh, sorry.
Who do you think needs to go? Levy and Enik or Ange? Who needs to go?
I think, listen, I've always said I'm not anti ENIC and I'm not pro ENIC either. I'm a kind of a be careful what you wish for type person. Now, listen, what I would say about ENIC and Levy is, do I want us to be spending a higher percentage of our revenue on wages? Absolutely. If you look at the amount of money Spurs have spent on transfer fees in the last 8 windows, it's actually within the 3rd or 4th or 5th highest. But in terms of wages, we are way down in terms of percentage spent on wages. And there's a lot of talk with people I've spoken to about that being because we have to stay at our kind of AAA rating, credit rating, so that when they look to sell it, the people coming in will be able to take it with a AAA credit rating, et cetera, to get loans out, et cetera. So there's a lot of financials there that I don't fully understand. I think there are much better chairmen around, but I think there are much worse chairmen around as well. And I'm always a bit be careful what you wish for. With Ange, what I think, as I said in the watch-along, is I fear for him because, like I said, the same goal being conceded time and time again. And I do think he has to take some responsibility for the injuries because no other club, as far as I'm aware, and I'm happy for people to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, no other club has ever got as many muscular hamstring injuries as we have. And Ange has said before, muscular and hamstring injuries come with my style of play and my style of training. Well, it's too much for the Premier League. You have to change it because it's the Premier League. It's bigger, it's better. Every single club has elite players who have more stamina, and it is injuring our players. And if Ange Postecoglou cannot get his first team on the pitch, he will never get the results and he will lose his job. And that is why I fear for him.
Barnaby, what's your opinion on our backroom staff?
I don't know enough about the backroom staff to know. I see some people in the comments saying, you know, Ryan Mason needs to go. He's a yes man. He's useless. Ryan Mason is just a young coach trying to pave his way. We don't know about what happens on a day-to-day basis. I can't really comment on that, mate. Let me just ask you one more question before I let you go. What do you think is going to happen to Postecoglou? Do you think he's going to last the season? How is this going to play out?
Well, I had a discussion with a mate of mine. I reckon if we lose against Everton and had we lost tonight, that was the end of Ange. He was gone. I think he'll get a reprieve after winning tonight. And the Leicester result is very important. If we don't get a good result against Leicester, he's gone. I think he's gone.
There you go. Said it how it is. Thank you so much, Reza, for coming on the show. Thanks for being part of the show. Hope to speak to you soon, mate. Have a good night. Cheers. Oh, I cut Reza off a little quick there. Apologies. I'm just going to say to Chris, I'm going to come to you next if you turn your camera on. If not, I'm going to move on. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. Thanks for all your comments tonight, guys, as well. Really appreciating all of them. Also, make sure you do subscribe to Chris's channel at Chris Cowlin on YouTube. And also, I'm getting near 15,000 subscribers on my channel as well. Go to @Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube for daily Tottenham and transfer news. Okay, for the second time, I'm coming to Brazil and G, one of our regulars. G, how are you, mate? And what did you think of that performance?
All right, mate. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, then, Barnaby. How you doing, mate, before we carry on?
Well, I'm a little stressed. I feel like it was pretty naive. It was another game where we've had 5 goals in the game. I thought there was easy opportunities for us to just take a little bit of a breather in that game and knock it about, and we called them on. We allowed them to take control of the game. And listen, all the caveats, the injuries and the exhaustion, I get it.
Don't say but. Please don't say but, though, Barnaby. In what you're going to say now, please do not say but. Well, don't say but, because you're just giving all the exclusives. But go on then. Go on.
I'm just saying, I just think there were ways that the midfielders could have come and helped out their back line and the goalkeeper and taken the ball off them and popped it about and made Hoffenheim work their nuts off, get knackered, and then we could have scored a couple of goals and won it 4-1, 4-0.
Would have been great. That would have been a really nice way to have also won the game, but we won the game. And at the moment,
Yeah.
Every game we play is like a lifeline to us, because all those things that you say about, and everyone else says about, before they say but, because you can't just say but. That is it. Injuries, knackered. Sonny scored that goal. It's a trademark, as you rightly so said. And I thought exactly the same thing. It's a trademark Sonny goal. But he did it in the even more casual way. And it wasn't because he was being casual. It's just really, I think he was on his last legs. I'm really glad he got taken off in the end. He had that opportunity, you know. But all the reasons that we're saying is that I'm going to rejoice in this win, because I actually thought, when I looked at what was getting on, who was getting on the bus, the disarray of the whole nucleus of the team, the way it was all disjointed as it always is, you know, with these players and that we played Lancashire in the end, you know. Then I think, you know, we're lucky to get with whatever we get, no matter who we play. You know, I'm not saying, no disrespect to the team we're playing. They're not good and they had their injuries, yeah, and you can say all that, but you know, they're going to be out in force. They're going to come for us. You know what I mean? They're playing Tottenham. They want to show their worth, every single player there. And I think they did that all game. They were so hard on the press against us. They knew it. We didn't have the legs. Even if we could have got the ball out or played a different way, there's no way we could have sustained that. You know, the players were shot yet again.
Can I just ask one question then? Sorry to interrupt.
I did say this like 3 or 4 times back. This is going to get a lot worse before it even starts to begin to think about getting better, because the 3 and 4 days traveling away, you know, this is Everton was the first game of this run. And I talk about this run, right? 3.6 days apart for 3 months. It's not sustainable. The fact that we had over a 14-day period, 5 matches. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know people go on about the training and blah, 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 but no, the crux of it is this. We play far too many games in far too short a period, more than any other team in the Premier League or anywhere else in the world. All right. That has to stop. This has to stop. The FA has to jump in, because it's not just us, it's everyone else. You know, playing internationals throughout the season is ridiculous. That one's a waste of space. That, you know, trashing good football in order to go and play that rubbish. Yeah. And I think there should be other rules laid in place, you know, for this sort of thing. You know, like so many games can't be played, like 5 games can only be played in the 21-day period or something like this. You know what I mean? Like 5 days apart at the very least, you know, this sort of thing. Anyway, I digress there, but I'm happy with the win, mate. I'm happy with the win because we got there and I never thought we'd do it. I really didn't think we would win this game before we played.
Well, G, I appreciate your positivity. You're a stronger man than I. So let me ask you then, where do you think this is going to go this season with Ange? Do you think the cups are going to save him? Do you think he's going to make it to the end of the season, then there'll be a reassessment? Or do you think, I guess similar to the first point, do you think Van der Ven and Romero will come back and Bassoon will get fit and Johnson will get fit and eventually Solanke will come back and actually we'll have a halcyon second half of this season?
Yeah. I mean, it's all a Mystic Meg kind of a scenario, isn't it? Every time. But like I say, these players were dragging. They're gone, man. They're absolutely gone. They don't want to be doing this all the time, you know. And I know they're fit. They paid a lot of money and all the rest, but that doesn't mean anything, you know. It's not PlayStation, you know. You can't just reset it and start off again. So as far as looking to the future is, and what Ange's thing is, I really can't say, because I don't think any of us can say that, you know. All that I can say is we face a mountain of a task. I think getting a draw against Leicester will be an astonishing result for us if we do, just purely based on what we're going through. Everton was the first game, by the way, in 7, 5 of which will be away, all of which are average of 3. We've got a less than 25-hour period of changeover between our game with Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just looking.
They'll move that back. They'll move one of those games back.
I'm looking at that. 5 games and this game being in Europe as well, out of 7 away, and they're not easy games. We've got those 2 games up north, you know, the Midlands and up in Liverpool. So I'm hoping they will do that, because otherwise it'd be disastrous. As for Ange, I think, you know, I just have to hope that he's going to carry on being there, you know, all the way through this and get us out the other side and then get those players fit. So we're talking February, but it's not February, it's mid-February. By the time these players get fit, match fit as well, and introduced as they should be, you know, like they can't, I know they're going to be trying bulldozed in, but They've got to take their time, otherwise it's going to happen to them. As far as some of the players go, though, and it's really nice to see Mickey Moore again out there. Bergvall's fantastic. Gray again doing his stuff. Like you said, I think it's great that Spence had that time out. He's had this week. He needs that few days extra. Although I think he's still one of the strongest players we've got, to be honest with you. He still does not stop. He's absolutely remarkable. Kulu needs a rest. And even then, he still gets that little burst of energy every now and again. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what we're up against, And I think for the game ahead, I want to concentrate on this game, but for the game ahead, I think there's something they're going to need the rest in. But for this game in particular, I think we just did what we did. You know what I mean? And we got there. We're through. We're through. We're going to be through. We've got another game to come, and I mean, all that's gone on, everything that's gone on, all the bad luck, all the handballs away, all the just missing penalties, and God knows what else that went with it. People getting ill, and Bentancur's, I don't know, man, but Bentancur could write a story about all the things that went on with him this year. With all these things that have gone on, here we are, and today we are just about over the line without having to go through that playoff part of being in another latter stages of a cup, which is
that is good positivity. I like that, G. Let me just ask you one more question before I let you go. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano is saying that Spurs are in fact trying to get 2 players through the line, over the line. Sorry, where if that is the case and we can get 2 players, what positions do you think they are? Do you think it's as simple as we need 1 centre half and 1 forward?
Yeah, I think the centre half, definitely. I feel for Dragerson as well, because I think he's always going to be a number 2 for us. You know what I mean? No matter who we get in, if we get someone else in, I think he's going to be pushed down to number 3. That's the way it's going to go, And I think he's tried hard. He's done all he can for us. And I'm not knocking the guy. He's a Spurs player. He's trying to give it. He wants to. Obviously, he's not going out there thinking, I'll just put in half a shift a day, collect my wages. I'm sure he's not like that. He does try, but he's just not got it in him to do those things. I've said this many times before about who gets the protection, whereas on Spence's side of the field at the moment, and where does Porro get it? He's not getting it from Dragshin. We never get it from that side. Today was another day where we're not going, where was Johnson? Do you know what I mean? Because it's not about that. This is not what it's about. We can blame, yes, of course you can put this on Ange. He's got to sort that side of the field out. These crosses coming over to the back, it's happening far too many times. But I think man-wise, we need the players to be able to do that. Who's in midfield as well, running back there, tracking back. I remember the other week, Sarr wasn't exactly doing it. He's a young player, I know, but I agree with you. I think that's the position we need to sort out. But I'd like to see us with somebody in the midfield. We never replace the Dembele, and we never replace the Modric. You can't replace the Dembele, and you can't replace the Modric. They're one-offs. But I'd like to get a little bit closer and closer and closer. I know in pre-season, didn't we play Bergvall and Gray in the middle, and it was an absolute disaster.
Yeah, but they're kids. They're kids, mate.
They are kids, yeah. So we need something now, though. If it's going to be there, Bentancur, he's got the experience, so he can do that. But I think we definitely do need somebody else in there that can give us a bit more strength to be able to stop that ball and hold it.
Totally agree. Listen, yeah, totally agree. I'm going to have to let you go, though, G. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, and I'll speak to you after the hopefully a Leicester win at the weekend. Thanks.
Yeah, check out your blood pressure, mate, because you want to take care, mate. Take care. All right, come on, you Spurs, through another. We're going to be there, mate. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, Barnaby.
Okay, apologies. I had to cut him off there. But next up is Chris in front of, I believe, what is that, the 61 FA Cup and double winning side.
There we go. There it is. Right?
Chris, it makes you look very weird, I will say that. But if you stay pretty still, then you're okay. How do you feel after that one, Chris?
I thought I saw some improvement in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a bit better. I was watching the fullbacks. I did enjoy the game much overall, I must admit. But I was watching the fullbacks and their position and their starting positions and their positions to get back in defence, and there's a lot better. And when we started playing well in the first half, they weren't playing crazy handball. Our forward passing was greatly improved. There's more imagination in it. We create a lot of chances. But then you get like the Kulusevski one. He plays a ball that's half a yard short for putting Melison in, and that just shows a lack of quality in our passing. And then we get to the second half, and we start playing backs to the wall, backs to goal. Football, we can't string two passes together. We can't get.
Why do you think that was, Chris? Why do you think we struggled at in the first 20 minutes of that second half, especially?
Well, I think Ange would do well to play the game back and listen to what Glenn Hoddle was saying, and just change your tactics around, and just don't give them all the space in midfield. Don't let their centre half just ping it around from left to right, so they can create they can create a bit of space on the wings and get crosses in and put us under pressure. I think, we need to press a bit harder. It's just putting that effort in. It's just everyone's played a game, everyone's played football at any sort of level, where you just need to get stuck into the other team and put them off and make them make mistakes and get the ball back.
Is that where their exhaustion comes in, though, Chris?
I don't see that. I don't see the exhaustion. I mean, everyone, I think it's a common topic. They're going to be tired. Yeah, fine. But I don't see that the players are tired. I mean, they're not. I know we haven't got a big squad at the moment, and they're probably, there's a bit of recovery time, bits and pieces with it. I didn't see anyone particularly tired today. So, okay.
What do you think we need if we're clearly they're trying to get some players in? What do you think we need?
What do we need?
Yeah.
So you can either look at what do we need immediately, or what do we need going forward? We need a proper number 6. Or whatever that position is. That's someone in midfield. That's that's a Declan Rice sort of player. So it's
they're the most expensive players right now, the Sixers, aren't they?
Exactly.
And the fact that Rodri just won the Ballon d'Or, I think even adds value to the number 6s, doesn't it? You need someone physical, a ball player who can play that quarterback role, but is also physical enough to knock players off the ball as they kind of come through and reads the game unbelievably well.
Yeah, you've gone from like the Makalele, just like goes from one tackle to another, plays like two players, into the Roger who does exactly the same thing, but then can spring the transition kind of. And that's what we need. I mean, I thought that player was Basuma, to be honest, but he seems to. I don't know what's happened to him. I thought
Bentancur did all right in that position tonight, to be honest, especially considering it was his first game for a while. But it feels like we need someone who can just do it all. And Bentancur feels more like a natural 8 who can get up and down the pitch to me.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of attacking potential, hasn't he?
Let me ask you, Leicester at the weekend and Elfsborg next week. Do you think this can be a little run of 3-game wins for Spurs?
I think if we continue to play the bad football we play, and we start playing this crazy Ange ball, because I thought we didn't play so much Ange ball today, and I don't think that's the way to play football. That's my view, is that if we carry on doing that, we'll struggle against Leicester. And it might be another 1-1, or whatever. It was 1-1 last time, wasn't it? I suspect we've probably got too much for them, and we probably will win. I don't think it's going to be an easy game at all.
Jamie Vardy will fancy it.
Yeah, anyway, exactly.
Chris, listen, thanks so much for being a part of the show. Really appreciate it. And let's talk after, hopefully, another win going forward.
Brilliant. Thank you, Barnaby.
Oh, man, thanks a lot. Okay, next up, I am going to Simon, who I believe you're in the USA, aren't you, Simon? How are you feeling after that 3-2 win for Spurs?
Good, man. Good to be on again. And I mean, it's a win. Doesn't matter how you do it. At the end of the day, it's a win. I mean, we've been on such a bad run lately. I'll take anything that we can get. I mean, it's just one of those things right now, man. It's like anytime I turn on anything, we're getting a ton of sticks from everybody, and so there's plenty of sticks to go around. I don't need to give my team any more sticks. I'll get behind them. I'll support them. It's nothing good comes easy, right? I mean,
true. The day is darkest before the dawn, or whatever it is. Simon, answer me this: who played? Sorry, you can finish what you're saying, but who? Just after that, let me know who you think played really well for Spurs. Where were the real positives on the park today?
I thought that Archie. I mean, Archie played really well, especially towards that end. You know, he was really trying to push out, trying to hold on to the ball. And you know, I mean, it just to see him kind of drop down, you know, at the final whistle, you know,
Yeah, I saw that.
you know he gave it all. And you know, as a fan, as a supporter, you know, that's all I can ask of my players. You know, results, they're gonna come and go, but you know, as long as the players give it all, you know, that's all I can ask for. um it's just one of those things, man. I mean, it's like it's hard to be positive right now, you know, based on how things has been going. But you know, if you really truly love something,
Yeah.
you know, you stick with it to the end. And you know, I love my Hotspurs. And
Mhm.
so no matter what, you know, no matter who the manager is, who's the players, you know, it's my club. And you know, I'm just gonna keep on being here. Like I said, you know, like there's plenty of people out there already that's gonna, you know, pointing the finger, you know, trying to blame this and that, whatnot. You know, hey, you know, there's plenty of those already. You know,
Yeah.
it's my choice. And what I choose to do is just, you know, be positive and always back my players no matter what.
Simon,
Um,
Simon, I love the positivity, mate. I really appreciate you getting involved in the show today. And let's speak after what will hopefully be another win against Leicester at the weekend. Top man.
Thanks, man. Have a good
Cheers,
one.
mate. And you. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Okay, next up, over to the Czech Republic, and one of our regulars, Steve, who was just looking at his phone, but it doesn't matter, Steve. We got a win. Is it time for me to be more positive? How do you feel?
Yes, maybe. I do think you should be a bit more positive. It's very difficult after you watch the game and come straight on. I couldn't do that and you know, contain your emotions, which is difficult to do. Yeah, obviously I thought we could have put it to bed a lot earlier in the first half. Fantastic goal, as you said, from Maddison. A brilliant ball from Porro, and then unfortunately Porro missed probably the easiest chance of the whole evening for us. That was a shame. And
Well,
then
I thought actually
Richarlison
Bergvall was the one who missed the easiest chance, actually, just before half time, didn't he?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
And the header from the free kick.
That's true. The header, you mean? Yeah, that was a good chance also. But with his, you know, with his feet, Porro should have perhaps put that away. And then I think Richarlison, you know, he had one really good, reasonable chance, and he sort of was scuffed towards the keeper, easily saved. And Sonny had a couple of chances before he got his goal, and fantastic goals he got too. Everyone looking particularly tired, I thought, except for one or two players. So, yeah, the positives for me were Archie Gray, fantastic in defence, a lot of blocks, a lot of covering, but also going forward as well, driving, linking up down the left side. Yeah, that's probably about it, because even Kula was looking extremely tired and had a couple of balls played down to him down that right channel, down the wing there, and he just was sort of shrugged off the ball and lost it. So he obviously needs a rest as well. So,
Steve, do you know what I really realize now more than ever is Ange's system is so perfect if we had pacey players in that forward line. Like the space you could get into and behind if we had acceleration pace players in behind. And that's what we're missing. We're so one-paced, aren't we?
Yeah. It's funny that I mean, it's not. I'm not saying to you that it's rocket science, but I was also thinking of that towards the middle of the game. I was thinking, you know, we haven't really got anyone with pace up front anymore, because Son's lost that yard or half a yard. Kula's extremely tired, but he's not a pacey player.
No.
He bulldozes his way through. And neither Richarlison or Solanke, when he's back, is particularly pacey.
Neither is Maddison, and neither is Bentancur, and neither is Basuma, and neither is Porro. And
none of them are
Udogie's got a bit of pace about him, but he gets caught in that inverted role, so he doesn't really get to use it that much. So
that's right.
You know, I've talked a little bit about how I think we need to bring in physicality. Players with physicality can play handball, but we need pace as well, and that's why it's such a shame that Odeberg got so injured, because I think he might have thrived in this system.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think he would have done the same as perhaps as with Solomon if we hadn't have loaned him out to Leeds, but we did.
It's interesting with Solomon because he started games. He started that Burnley away game that we won like 4-1 or 4-2 at the beginning of last season.
He made a couple of goals, if I'm not mistaken.
Made a couple of goals, but then he got a bad injury, and then Ange was just like, well, you're off. And I mean, look, he's scoring goals in the Championship, so who knows? But
yeah. No, definitely, and I agree with your comment about physicality, as you mentioned before. We've got a lot of slightly built players, you know, even in the midfield. There's not enough robustness there, you know, apart from Kula, who plays wide as opposed to in the midfield. You know, Sarr is a very slightly built player and brushed off the ball. I'd like to see a bit more. People who, as you say, people who are good on the ball and but they have a bit of physicality about them.
Yeah,
I was particularly, you can see it even in this level that Dragusin is not really up to it. You know, he's when he gets a ball, he takes too long to control it, and his distribution most of the time isn't that great, and that's sort of putting it politely.
Yeah, he's a brilliant box defender. He's a brilliant box defender, but he's not a ball playing defender. That's for sure.
He's good in the air. I don't know why he wasn't covering the guy who came in at the end at the far post, and Porro was trying to cover him, but. Being an experienced, a keeper yourself, you know about goalkeeping. Do you think that Austin should have come for that cross? Because he was thinking of coming for it. He made a step forward and then he stepped back, and I thought that was
for the second goal.
Come for it. What do you think? Should he
for the second goal?
Yeah, the second goal.
Yeah, I think if he'd come for it, it would have just sailed over his head. I think he realised that if he came for it, it wouldn't. So he tried to stay put and see if. The guy had it. I mean, if you remember, there was exactly the same chance that Kramaric headed onto the bar in the first, earlier on that second half, and they were smart. You know, like I said in my post match, it's like the analysts of oppositions are clearly saying just play the ball over the top to the back post, and you can head it in. It's pretty simple, and that for me, as I've said time and time again, is very frustrating. But just before I let you go, then Leicester coming up. It's not going to be an embarrassing one, is it?
Sorry?
It's not going to be an embarrassing one, is it?
No, I don't think so. I hope not. He's got a lot of pace, though, hasn't he, Vardy, if he plays? They're really on bad form at the moment. I think we've got a good record against them over the years, but we used to have Harry Kane. We should win that one. I just looked at that. When you said I'm looking at my phone, I was looking at the league table for the Europa League table.
Yeah, we're in fourth,
hoping that United obviously lose or draw to Rangers, and they're up there. And in the league, that both the teams above us, what were they? West Ham and someone else. They're both playing away at reasonable teams, so they might drop points. So if we beat Leicester, what I'm trying to say is we'll move up. We'll move up to about 12th.
Okay.
Possibly higher if Brentford lose, because we've got
Dizzy
a better
heights.
goal average.
Dizzy heights.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, when we start worrying about that we could make the middle of the table. You know, it's no good. You know, not great performance tonight. I don't know who said earlier on. I totally disagree with them. The chap before who said that we were abysmal or something. I totally disagree with that. We weren't abysmal. It was some nice football in the first half. We were knocking it around, some nice touches, creating chances, and put 2 away from 4, and got the job done on a difficult night with a very threadbare team. So that's
okay, Steve, good positivity from you, Steve. I appreciate that, mate. Thanks for getting involved in the show. Let's go after the next one.
Show.
Thanks a lot, mate. Bye-bye.
Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Next up, we have Stuart. Stuart, thanks for being so patient, mate. How do you feel after that 3-2 victory away from home at Hoffenheim?
It's a win, mate. I don't care. It's 3 points. It's a win. We can all talk about, what the performance was like. Reality is the fellas are knackered. We had some good performances. I thought Archie Gray, Bergvall, outstanding. Bentancur was good. Maddison, not so bad. He'd been patchy in the season. Yeah. So, let's pick the positives out of it. We can all see what the problems are. We all know what the problems are. It's 3 points. All we got to do is beat the Danes Elfsborg next week, and then we avoid the round of death. Crack on.
So do you think that there's a little bit too much noise about some of the negativity that's going around? And listen, I just, for me, I'll try and explain my negativity in my post matches, because I've watched that game so many times in Europe and in England with Spurs, where somehow something stops them from just working for 90 minutes. Now, I get all the caveats, I do, but overall, do you think there's too much noise and too much negativity, and that maybe even the club should come out and say, listen, whatever happens, Postecoglou is going to be the manager for the rest of the season. He's been dealt a bad hand, and we'll see what happens at the end of the season?
Absolutely not a vote of confidence from the club, because that's your kiss of death right there. But there is too much negativity. I mean, you get the keyboard warriors on social media. They're all shouting their faces off. I mean, the reality is we had what? Two 18-year-olds out there today. We put on a sub of a 17-year-old. Yeah. Look at our bench.
Yeah,
I don't think we had a senior player on the bench, did we? So it's you can't go coaching off the team, right? The team is knackered. This is the worst I've known it, and I've known Christian Gross, right? So this is the worst I've known it ever. But you talk about Ange Ball. You can't play Ange Ball if your players are knackered. As you said earlier to one of the guests, that you need pace. I don't agree with you on Porro and Udogie, by the way. I think Porro is way quicker than Udogie. But and Porro's got a terrific shot on him when he gets up there.
He's a brilliant player, I think.
I love Pedro. But so I'm a bit biased, maybe. It's a bromance going on. No, I think there's way too much negativity going on. I am massively frustrated with the transfer window. I'm fuming, in fact. I mean, we've known that we had a problem since the first week of December. And I said this to Chris on a previous pod. Don't tell me that the fellas weren't getting together and saying, right, we might have a problem here. We need to fix it. Why Lange didn't have two players to walk through the door on the 2nd of January, I do not know. Why we're scrabbling about on the 23rd of January. How many games have we had? How many games are in January?
I think they've got like 9 total,
Yeah. So 9 games, two in the Europa League, 7 league games. You've got a squad that's knackered, and you've done nothing for the manager. As far as I'm concerned, and all these people, Ange out, Ange this, Ange that. Ange is not the problem. And
Stuart, can I just ask one question? Is there not a chance that players don't want to come to us?
100%. Would you right now?
Well, then, so how are they expected to have 2 players lined up at the door on January the 2nd if the players literally don't want to come?
Because the problem is, if you look at like the Kolo Morani player that we were linked with, I said to Chris right at the beginning of it, does anyone seriously believe Levy's going to get that job done? No way. Player's going to turn around and say, right, I want 200 grand a week. Levy's going to turn around and say, well, no, our top level is 180 and I'm not going to break the wage.
Yeah, but with all due respect, mate, he's gone to Juventus. You not think Juventus are a bigger club than Spurs? They are. They're more traditional. Any player is going to choose Juventus over Spurs, surely.
Well, you say that, but we've had players choosing us over Bayern Munich, like Dragusin, or choosing us over Barcelona.
But that's where I agree, and that's where it was like we all talked about kind of the cult of Ange and his ability to have that phone call. But I think it's harder to have that phone call when you're 13th, 14th, or 15th in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you. Right now, right now, do you want to come to Tottenham? Well, you're going to look at it and think, that could be a poison chalice. Yeah. Whereas, but also, if you look at recruiting players. If you look at all the sides that are signing players right now, and you've got
Man City mainly,
yeah, I get that. But even trading in the Premiership or across Europe, anyone who sees Daniel Levy's on the phone, you're just going to think, no thanks. I cannot deal with that man, because it's like drilling your own teeth, and so people just don't want to deal with him.
Yeah, I do think I listen, as I've said, I'm not anti-ENIC, I'm not pro-ENIC, I'm not anti-Levy, pro-Levy, but I do know, and I felt that before, I agree with you. I do think that although everybody who talks about Daniel Levy has a lot of respect for him as a businessman, I do agree that a lot of them will probably just be like, I know what you're going to do. You're going to quote me one price, and then an hour before it's signed, you're going to quote me a price of 5 million less and hope
Eden Hazard, case in point,
Stuart, listen, thank you so much. I'm running out of time, so I've got to let you go. But let's talk after what will hopefully be a win at Leicester. I appreciate it, mate. Cheers.
Of course it will. See you. Cheers. Bye.
Okay, next up is John. John, I'm afraid I'm running out of time, so I'm going to have to be quite quick, but please do tell me you're a regular on this. How do you feel after that? Is it just important that we got the win? Is that the vital thing?
Yeah, it's important we got the win, although I feel completely drained after watching the whole game.
Me too, John. Thank God.
Honestly, I feel knackered, absolutely knackered. And I ain't done a lot today, so I've got no reason to be knackered other than watching that game. And yeah, I thought the second half was awful. And it's funny how people have different opinions about players. You know, the geezer before said about Poro, favourite player. I think he's the most overrated player in our team.
You didn't like that pass for Maddison's goal?
Oh, brilliant. No, going forward is great, but his first job is meant to defend. And every time I watch this play, the player on the other team down his side's always got the beating of him. With the second goal, as soon as the ball come off the guy's foot for the cross, I said goal. I could see straight away.
He's never goal side of his man there ever in any match.
No, and the thing was, Dragerson was in the middle watching another guy. Poro had no need to be where he was. Absolutely terrible. But I see it too often with him. Like I said a few weeks ago, I'd have Jed Spence at right back, and you could maybe look at Poro playing in front of him sometimes. I don't know. And if I've got to go soon, I'll just say that Son, I think like what you said earlier on, you know, you don't lose class overnight. He's always going to be able to score goals like that, but he does have to miss out a few games, be rested, come on as sub in a few games, and he will get us goals. You know, he's a great player.
And John, before I let you go, tell me this prediction for the Leicester game.
We've got to win with where we are in the table, but I wouldn't put 50 pence on us winning that game at the moment. The players are completely knackered, 100%. Most of them are going to be playing against Leicester. Yeah. They've had a rest all week. You know, they're all athletes, professional Premiership footballers. I can see us getting overrun a little bit. I really can.
Oof. Well, I hope you're wrong. But John, thanks so much for being part of the show. And let's speak after the Leicester game. Thanks a lot, mate.
No worries. Cheers.
And finally, thanks for being so patient, Steve. I haven't got long with you, I'm afraid, but just give us a quick one. How do you feel after the 3-2 win?
I'll make it a quick one. I mean, obviously, I'm with please hands prove me wrong tonight because I thought we might lose tonight. And I thought we might lose. We might lose against Leicester on Sunday, but I'm going to be positive. Really pleased for Sonny tonight because even though he was in a bit of luck for his first goal, it must have done him the world of good because look at how he put the third one away. So I'm really happy tonight. But it means nothing if we don't beat Leicester on Sunday because that is a relegation battle. We have to beat Leicester. And let's hope we do, Barnaby. Let's hope we do.
You know, who else? You loved Sonny's performance tonight.
Well,
who else?
Sonny was fantastic. I thought Archie Gray, when he made that tackle right near the end, what a player that boy is. Fantastic.
Belies his years, doesn't he?
Yeah, and if we just say one last thing about Daniel Levy, look, we know when Manchester United got Bruno Fernandes and we got Gedson, it sort of summed him up. But one thing I've got to say is he's not going anywhere until he gets 5 billion. And one thing I will say is I don't want our heritage tarnished by taking like Newcastle United Saudi dirty blood money. So it's like you say, it's who you get in. Yeah, we could do with a better chairman, but it's got to be the right person. You know, I don't want to sell the club out to Arab money or Russian money like Chelsea did and like City and Newcastle have done. Because our Jewish heritage, I think that would be wrong, certainly to go down the Saudi route after they murdered that journalist. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that.
No, that's fair enough. I think a lot of people would agree with you there. Listen, thanks so much for being a part of the show, Steve, and I'll speak to you again.
Come on, you Spurs.
All right, guys, thank you so much for being a part of the fan show. Really appreciate it. If you'd like to appear on a future episode, email tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. That's tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. It's very important to us that this channel gives everyone a voice, particularly from those all around the world. So wherever you are from, please do get in touch. Okay, guys, for those of you who've been watching through the watch along and the instant match reaction and then the fan show, really appreciate your support. Once again, please do press that like button. Please do subscribe to Chris's channel at Chris Cowlin. And also, if you want to come and see my transfers and Spurs content, it's at Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube. Craig Dearman will be hosting the Spurs Chat podcast. from about 1 minute's time, he will be joined by Melvin Zureb, Gary Walters, and Terry Kim. So go over to him on Chris's channel for that. Just go to the live section. And after what can only be described as a victory, but a stressful one, Tottenham looks like will be in the next round, probably in the top 8 and the last 16 of the Europa League. And that's all that matters. Come on, you Spurs.